All right, we are live. First hand after break.
Wow,
Final table.
Here.
Jimmy Wynn raises to 200,000 with ace jack.
Wow.
Dustin calls with pocket tens.
My mind is already
jump
blown.
on Facebook and see if this has popped up or not.
Yeah, we're 30 seconds.
I should have viewers right now. Go ahead.
All right. Well, yeah. Just in case. All right. All right. Well, it's fine. Maybe they saw that I was. They thought that maybe I'm coming back, and they're like, "Yeah, I think." Flops an ace. Jimmy's just gonna take it down. I think Dustin's plan here when he just flats here is just see a low board. He decides to see bet. It's obviously not gonna work. Jimmy's gonna take this one down. Will he call or will he raise? Probably. It's a really interesting spot Jimmy's put himself in. He could very well think that he's up against a monster. It's not going to matter. He has an ace. 5 on the turn changes nothing. Yeah, we got viewers now, so I think
all
you're
right,
good.
they're up now.
Jimmy's most likely going to just jam here.
Okay.
He decides to check. Dustin's just going to check behind here. Unless he decides to represent the ace, which will not work, as we know. You're also buffering too.
Yep, I'm buffering, so I'm going to have to hit connect right after this hand. Yep. Jimmy wins the hand.
Yeah, 4 on the river. Jimmy, he might just check here and hope for a bluff from Dustin. Dustin's a very capable.
Yeah. I would value bet because I think Dustin, if he doesn't put you on an ace since you went check on the flop,
right.
he might call a small bet.
If he would have opened a regular sizing, that's perfectly fine. But he opened 4x early position, so. Yeah,
so that first hand is done. I'm going to reset my computer real quick to get the buffering out of the way.
Yeah, very interesting hand to start. I hope that caught it all.
Jimmy picks up 425K first hand after break.
That's a very huge pot as far as this final table goes. Because Jimmy, as far as I've seen, is a very capable player, pretty aggressive.
Fabulous. The first time I saw him was in March when we were here streaming the Frozen Frosty.
Okay.
And he was doing really well.
Mm.
Looks like they had a bad deck, bad card in the deck. Heidi just replaced it. So I don't know how much you know about the RFID technology, Leighton. There's an antenna in these cards. A deck of cards cost me $150.
That's what I was hearing from the dealer as well.
People will
they're very easy to
bend
break,
and they'll snap that card, and it doesn't affect the game the way the players see it.
Right.
But then the cards don't show up, and so the viewers don't get to enjoy the stream. And so when we identify a broken card, I have 3 decks of cards back there ready to go that we can swap out.
Oh, you have extra? Okay.
Yeah, I've got them ready to go. So if we don't know, if we just see there's a bad card and we don't know, I'll just give them a fresh deck. But if I go, it's a 3 of diamonds, okay, let me grab a 3 of diamonds out of here.
Gotcha. And just hope that the 3 of diamonds doesn't happen to break again.
Exactly. And
that'd be pretty unlucky.
I've got multiple decks where the first deck there's like 20 bad cards, and the second deck like the 6 of hearts broke twice. So I've got like 8 bad cards in that one, and the 6 of hearts broke again. So I've got the third deck. I've got like 3 bad cards, and so.
Yeah, we're seeing now. This is getting pretty short here. Mark is like the big chip leader, and he only has 40 bigs.
Yeah,
less than 40 bigs technically.
Table.
Yep. So we're gonna see a good amount of bust outs here in the next hour. So this will be very interesting. Yeah, this is.
So we've got 13,800 up top. The next one out gets 1,580, which is I think I made 1,555 for my third place finish in that $100 kickoff tournament.
Paul's got ace queen here, and Gary's got eights. This will probably go all in. Oh, Mark has aces as well.
I was going to say, if it does, he's losing 700 chips.
Paul's definitely going all in here. Now, now Gary's got a really tough spot here with 8s on the button. He's at 1.1 million.
Yeah, at the final table.
It's very tough. Obviously, personally, I'm calling here 100% of the time because I know Paul's capable.
Right.
And
exactly.
Mark
luckily
is just,
he doesn't, because Mark comes behind him with
he does find the fold.
11, with the 11, with the ace.
I will tell you with no shame, I'm 100% busting here.
Yeah,
for
with
sure.
The 8s?
With the 8s, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Unless you hit an 8.
Unless I hit an 8.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see. We'll see if he would have.
But yeah, I'm definitely calling off with 2 8s in that situation.
But obviously, it was Gary, right?
Gary, yep, in the 10 seat.
Yeah, Gary plays a little differently.
And let's say it didn't get outrageous. Now I would lose with 2-8s.
Sure.
On a 2-7-3. If he makes a normal raise and we're just playing regular, Paul turns a flush draw.
There's a sweat here on the river. And he doesn't get it.
So Paul will exit in 10th place.
Yep. Paul played a great tournament.
Or 9th place, rather.
Yep, 9th place. For $1580.
He's going to get $1,580.
Yep, good result.
I'm going to hit that payout chart as soon as the blinds are off the page. And
so this will open up the action a little bit.
$1,580.
Yeah, Paul will be a little upset that his ace-queen suited found aces for less than 15, but that's poker. That's kind of how it goes. If
that's just poker.
If he opens,
it's a setup hand.
Yeah, if he opens, it's probably incorrect. So I mean, shove is the only option
because he's not going to open and then fold.
Yeah, if he opens, he's allowing the big blind to see a flop with any two unders.
Is an open might bring Gary in.
Sure.
And then he gets shoved on, and then he still calls.
He still calls. Yep.
And Mark still wins all the chips.
Mark still wins all the chips. Yeah. It's the beauty of poker. Sometimes there's just no possible way to get out of a situation. Jimmy here with ace-queen suited. He keeps finding himself in these situations where he's picking up monsters and no one has anything.
Yeah.
Gary had the only playable hand.
It's great to have good hands, but you have to have somebody at the table with a second best hand to come along with you.
Yeah, and he'll probably just shove here, and Dustin will have the easiest fold maybe of his life.
Mark already folded. The action tracker hasn't caught up with that.
Yep. Jimmy's just Hollywooding here. Unless he decides to trap with a limp.
He could just limp in to induce Dustin to bluff at it.
They are 20 big blinds deep. He could choose a 2.5, 3x size here maybe.
Yep. Didn't work. He just folded.
Yep. What did he go with?
Makes it 200.
Yep.
Which is 4x.
So 4x.
It's small blind versus big blind. I don't mind that because you're playing out of position the whole hand.
As long as he's consistent with it. He just took that line with ace jack off early position, which I wouldn't play like that personally, but if that's his play style, then he also understands that now that he's solidified his spot at second, he can really apply pressure to these shorter stacks, especially the middle stacks, third, fourth, fifth.
Let's look at these chip stacks again really quickly. So as soon as Mark's out of the way, Jimmy has free reign to do whatever he wants. And lucky for Jimmy, Mark's on his direct right.
Yep, and Mark...
So he has to act every hand.
Mark's been playing pretty snug. He's also hasn't been getting playable hands here. Nothing really going here. Dustin will probably just take this one down unless someone gets out of line. But I want to see if Dustin decides to shove here or he decides to take a size that's not all in. He decides to flat.
Sounds great.
Good.
I just pulled up the Facebook
just to
make sure how we sounded, and we sound great.
Dustin,
I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Dustin's blessed with a good flop here. He decides to take the check line.
Chad Fowler. So it goes check, check. Dustin's slow playing. Chad's going to bet.
He does get one bet out of him.
He did. He induces one blind
the limp
out
versus Chad. He must assume that Chad's going to reshove a good amount of the time, which I haven't played enough with him to understand.
Very slow, trying to get chips out of him.
Yeah, Chad with a deuce here. This is a really interesting spot. The spades got there, which probably makes it a fold, but he does decide to call, pays it off. Dustin gets the maximum there.
That was nice.
Beautiful for that exact hand. Yep, very nice.
All right.
And now Dustin's probably right up there with Jimmy, so this is going to be a really interesting dynamic.
Yep.
I know Dustin likes to play a lot of hands, and Jimmy is
Dustin,
definitely capable as well.
23 big blinds, 1.2 million chips.
Yep, and you have Gary in fourth, but Gary is kind of a more snug player.
Right. And his son, Jason.
And his son is, it's interesting, his son is actually pretty aggressive, so yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic. Haven't seen them in a lot of pots with each other, but,
so far,
the younger of
just
the two
said something to Jason, and then they laughed about it.
Yeah, the younger of the two, Jason, I think. Yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of wiggle room. It's either all in or fold for him usually. So.
Yeah, he's handcuffed by his chip stack
Yeah, let's see if Dustin, we saw him open 4-3 off on the button. Let's see if he decides to open with 10-9 if Jimmy folds, which he probably will. He doesn't. He decides to. Interesting fold from him.
He picked up 200K that last pot, so he's going to just.
I was fully expecting an open from 10-9, but Chad only has 500K in the big blinds, so a shove would be pretty catastrophic.
Yeah. We were talking about that yesterday. In this situation where people are so short, you hate to make it, raise it to 2.5 blinds, position, and some guy shoves for 6, and now you have to call with 7-4 because you were making a move, but now you're priced in. Mm-hmm. So this is the part where I start watching out for Jason and Chad.
Right.
And then I watch out for Mark and Jimmy because they can hurt me.
Exactly.
I target these middle stacks, Gary and Taylor. Those guys don't want to bust before Jason and Chad. So
and the
those
gentleman
are the
with the tadpole jacket, he is...
That's Chad Fowler.
Chad.
He is.
Chad just made a very interesting play. He just blasted his opponent off of, I think, bottom pair with a spade. I kind of got that.
Yeah, I didn't see what he had. But, he just led out and won the pot.
Not a lot of chips, but every chip matters, especially for these.
So Chad Fowler is the
Jason
reigning RPT champion.
Oh, really?
2021.
Yeah, he actually, he didn't bust me technically, but he pretty much.
Yep.
He was the man in my mind. So
he's a fabulous player.
I'm rooting for him since part of his chip stack.
Yep.
Is mine.
That's kind of like you're winning then.
Yep. Louis, will he shove here? This is a great shove spot, but I don't know if Louis plays that way. I've seen him shove a lot.
My timer going off.
We're gonna see probably a shove here. No. He decides a size smaller.
250, 225.
Now he's really put Jimmy in the blender. Jimmy just has to fold after Jason folds.
Makes it 250.
Jason missed a shove there, but he's going to avoid. I'm really surprised that Jason didn't find a shove there.
Yeah, they're playing.
Especially for him.
With these chip stacks, Jason's got 400K, which is 8 big blinds, with Queen Jack suited under the gun. I just open shove.
Yep.
And
it's a shove. But maybe he has a read on the rest of the table. As the short stack, it's probably a shove. But I understand wanting to limp Queen Jack suited, especially if he's gonna mix it with aces and kings and stuff like that.
If it was an active table, and people were moving chips around, and somebody's gonna bust.
It's a shove.
I would sit. Then I would just the opposite. Then I would sit back and let people bust.
Interesting.
But here everybody's really tight and they're all folding, so now I shove. I just play the opposite of what the table's doing. So when these guys are all folding around and min clicking and folding to 3 bets, that's when I shove.
Yeah, obviously if Jimmy shoves here, he's gonna get it through. Because I think Louis' plan on raising is just to raise fold with ace-10 off. See, personally, I like jamming in this spot with ace-10 off to avoid that decision. But
he put in 250 out of his 800 stack.
Very nice hand from Louis. Yeah, it's either a shove or a 3x,
and it got through.
It's a line he decided to take. Very interesting from Jason saving himself there. I guess he would have.
While we're in the middle of a hand.
He would have found himself in the middle of a flip. So, but now he's left with 8 big blinds here, and he's going to be in the big blind next. So, see if he gets any luck picking up a hand. Jason has Jack-8 suited in the big blind, but I doubt you'll see a flop with Chad being so short and picking up pocket queens here. Let's see what Chad decides to do here. This will be an open or a shove. He decides to shove. Now Taylor is put in a very interesting spot. Chad is a very solid player. He just took the similar line with king-queen suited against me, actually. That's how I eventually ended up losing all my chips in this tournament. This time Chad has queens. Jason will find the fold here. It's definitely an interesting hand against any Broadway that doesn't contain jack, any under pair. But he's not short enough yet to where he has to call that, so good fold from him.
Jason down to 6 big blinds now.
Yeah, Jason might look back at that queen jack suited hand and
thinking that was a ship hand.
Yeah, that was probably the hand he should have went with. But you never know. 6 big blinds. He's still got a couple orbits.
Yeah, he might find a better hand and all of a sudden triple up, and now he's got 18.
And he's in the small blind against his dad next, I believe, right? So.
Let's see the dynamic there.
I'm really hoping for a fold all the way around to the small blind.
So he can shove and
put his dad in a spot. Well, I don't think 7-4 suited and 8-6 off aren't going to be the most exciting hands, but it looks like Louis picks up 5s on the button. I'd really like to see a shove from Louis. I think he's capable. He's either going to open or shove. I think against Gary, a shove is probably going to be the line, but he decides to raise here. Just going to open 2x. And Gary folds. Very nice from Louis. Very nice. Yeah, Louis is a very solid player. Don't let his calm demeanor and his large hat fool you. This guy knows
his
how to
large
play.
hat fool you. His safari hat. He's a snowbird. He goes down to Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
We were talking about him last night when he was on the feature table.
And obviously it's summer now, so
yeah, he came back up for summertime. Yep. He goes down in the wintertime and plays down in Florida.
Yep. And definitely don't blame him for that. Winters up here aren't.
Oh, absolutely, it's horrible up here.
It's not the best, Dustin finds 6-5 suited. It's gonna be interesting if he finds an open here. The way he's been playing, he also decides to fold that, so it looks like Dustin's snugging up as well. It's going to give an opportunity to Mark here. Jason just ships. Mark's going to have a really interesting spot. It's probably going to be a fold.
Yeah.
You're unsuited.
275 is going to cost him.
But the gambler in
He's got a ton of chips, though.
The gambler in you just wants to knock a guy out.
Yeah, he can kind of expect he has live cards.
Realistically.
And Jason can be shoving with anything on the button.
In Mark's situation, you actually want Jason to remain in the tournament as long as possible.
Yeah. For the ICM to make people
fold hands that they definitely should not. So, yeah, good fold from him. I mean, I definitely like Jason's shove. No other way about that. Good play from him. Also, very solid player. This final table ended up being consistent of some very, very well-rounded players for sure. It's very fun to play out here against all these guys. Obviously ranging in talent, but
Yep. In the background, we hear the event number 5, the final event, the $315 buy-in, no add-on, one re-entry allowed. And that started at 11 o'clock, so they've been playing for just about an hour, 30-minute levels, so we're going into level 4 now. They're probably actually going on the break pretty soon.
Yeah. I think, we just hit level 3, actually.
Oh, did they? They must
have
started late.
We're 1-3-3 right. Yeah, we started a little late.
Okay. Probably to finish up the feature.
But yeah, if you guys are in the area, obviously you're gonna have to make it down here for that one for sure.
Oh yeah, if you're within 2 hours, they have 30-minute levels and a dinner break. So we've got.
And you can re-entry until the 9th level, which is going to be around, I think I saw like 5 or 6 p.m.
5 o'clock.
Yeah. And if you
with
buy
the
in,
1 hour dinner break.
if you buy in before the dinner break, you still got 30 bigs. So I mean,
2,000 big blind coming back.
Jimmy's put in a really interesting spot here. Louis decides to 3x. Jimmy's going to call. He believes he can outplay Louis post flop, perhaps, calling as wide as Jack 9 off. Let's see if Jimmy decides to lead here. I'm going to assume he's just checking. He's doing the stare down. I always respect a good stare down myself. It's a very interesting spot from Jimmy. I don't blame him thinking about leading here. Obviously, one street Louis is going to call for sure. Louis is going to c-bet, take this down.
200.
He c-bets half pot. Very interesting.
Oh, Jimmy check shoves all in.
Wow.
That's beautiful. He just puts the pressure on. So he stares at him, then puts the pressure on with that big stack. And
he's talking. He's talking at the table.
Oh, he didn't go all in.
He didn't go all in?
No.
Oh,
that would have been beautiful.
Sick.
I thought he did, but John misunderstood him.
Nasty. I see. Oh, that's why they're laughing.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting spot if he did decide to shove. Obviously in this spot it would work, but interesting that he would pick this hand with no backdoor equity.
Right. Just a straight
and I was
cold
very
stone
thrown
bluff.
off. I mean, Louis.
I was like, maybe that's what the stare down was for, to make him think I have a queen.
I respect that. Jimmy, when he calls in the big blind there, he's not really expecting to just hit, take it down, right? You're going to have other plans. Obviously, if you had a jack or a 9 on the flop or get some straight outs, or you're feeling pretty good. But obviously, sometimes you just gotta win hands that you don't deserve.
Yeah.
Or you.
Sometimes
they're not yours.
No, that's it. You gotta win hands that you don't deserve.
Yep. And that's or you can be a luck box like me, and that's how you win a tournament.
My biggest luck box, I got 5s in against queens, and I got a 4 flush. I've been talking about that one for heaps. And the other one, I was hitting every straight draw I had, every open-ended straight draw. I mean, I knocked out a guy who flopped top set of kings with my queen jack on a king 10-4 board. It was a very good run for me on Thursday.
We also got action. We kind of looked away for a minute, but Louis decides to limp under the gun with the ace-10 suited. Very interesting from him. I'm surprised to not see a bet, but if he c-bets here, he will take this one down. He does not. We'll see a turn.
Completes a small blind. Dustin just checks, and now they all check.
Yeah, no one has any equity.
The first one to bet's going to win this pot.
Yeah, Jimmy decides to bet, I think.
Yeah, I would.
Very interesting. He has no equity at all, but it works. Very nice.
He just takes it down with 10 high. Pick up those pots that nobody else wants.
That's a huge win from Jimmy. Very nice from him. I think he was thinking along those same lines with the Jack 9.
Right.
He might have been planning to check fold, flop, check, or lead out turn.
Check jam would have worked.
Yep. I'm assuming that's the reset timer.
I'm going to quickly reset this while he's shuffling. I've got my timer set for 10 minutes so I don't miss any hands.
Right. So we'll go to darkness for a little bit.
Just about 5 seconds
just
of darkness.
Just like you're closing your eyes. Yeah. Then we're back.
Just a blink and we're back in business. But then we don't have that buffering issue.
And the interesting dynamic here is that if things are pretty tight now, they're only going to get tighter as we go on here because the pay jumps aren't really significant yet.
Here we're going to have some action.
Wow.
Gary Singer
picks up queens here.
Queens in the hijack. Jimmy win 6s.
Now, this is kind of the problem with playing tight, right? He's going to really have a hard time getting any action.
Right.
Jimmy might just snap fold here.
He makes it 150. Jimmy's got 6s.
And he just snap folds. It's
he's like, I was about to 3-bet till I saw who that was.
Yep, and Dustin's going to find a call here.
Yep, he's got a call with ace 10.
Yeah, I don't mind it. He's not suited.
He's getting a discount with the small blind.
Louis, it's interesting. It sounds like Louis and Gary played a lot of hands together. The way they were talking, I was at the feature table with them yesterday.
They've been around the block a few times.
Yeah, really.
Now Gary's getting a good price. It's 100 to call. There's 450
Louis looking
in the
at
pot.
chips. Looks like he might get some ideas to see if he has enough equity to call, or if he wants to decide to take this ace-8 and use it as one of his bluff shoves.
Yeah, it's.
I'm going to assume he's not going to do that against Gary. But
not with Gary.
He's put Gary in some tough spots with some overpairs before. I think he made him fold queens on the button.
Really?
Or on the bubble.
Okay.
So, interesting
Louis
dynamic
does elect to call.
And Louis may be thinking that with the history with Gary, he might have some ideas depending on the flop. Wow, very interesting flop. Louis has backdoor nut flush draw, and he did not call.
He's going to represent.
Just to check it down. Now Jason might just jam. He decides to call. He's taking the most of the line with the most variance. Dustin has a pretty easy fold here.
Yep. Dustin's going to let it go.
Yeah, Dustin's probably.
And Louis is going to give up on it now. He took a stab at it.
Well, it depends. If there's a spade on the turn, I see him.
I don't think
jamming.
he's calling 200 right now.
Oh, he
Gary
decides
made it 400.
to min-click
Gary
it.
min-clicked it back.
Oh, yeah. Louis, I mean, he only has shove or fold here.
Right. I think that's why I think he folds.
I think he folds too. He probably really wants to shove.
Yeah. And he's wondering, is this going to work against Gary? Gary must have a monster.
Sure.
He would fold
See,
ace
now Gary
king.
has queens here, but what if he has 8s? What if he has 9s?
Yeah.
Very interesting spot for Gary. I think Gary's capable of folding 8s and 9s here for sure.
Yeah.
Against Louis. Yesterday we had an interesting
I don't think
hand
he
where-
raises with 8s or 9s. I think he just calls.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is an interesting point. But Louis outflopped Gary yesterday on a 6-high board, and Louis had 6s and Gary had 7s. So we kind of have this dynamic. It's very interesting. This is kind of why Louis is kind of thinking here, but he ends up making the correct
He's going
fold.
to fold.
I really like Louis' play there. For
He
sure.
said something to him.
Yep,
He
they're-
points right at him and
yep,
says
they're-
something. You owe me one or something.
They're talking. Yep. No, like I said, they have. It seems like they have a lot of history together. So all these dynamics of this final table, the people here really make this final table interesting too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super fun. Super fun to
Yeah.
watch. We're down to 8 players.
And obviously, Mark has just been chilling, picking up chips slowly but surely. And everybody else is just kind of battling out while Mark is just kind of sitting back.
53,000 chips in the one seat. He doesn't need
It's
to.
also interesting because Gary's now second, and nothing against Gary, but Gary plays a pretty tight range, so it's going to be interesting to see if guys like Dustin and Jimmy kind of take advantage of that going forward.
Did you say Gary's in second already?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I
Pop
saw.
that up. Whoops, wrong button. Let's pop up
Getting
the
a
stack
phone
size
call.
button.
I'll have to return.
Gary is in second. Wow, Jimmy's down in third.
Yep. Yeah, that Queen's hand was quite big. He probably picked up like 400,000 chips or something like that.
Yeah. Dustin with pocket aces on the button against Chad Fowler and Taylor
And with
Schmidt in
Dustin's
the
image,
blinds.
Chad might very well shove. He decides to. Oh, Dustin puts this in his limping range.
He's
Very
playing it
interesting.
slow.
Dustin's probably planning on limping. Suited connectors here, maybe.
Oh, he's going to get Chad's in trouble now.
Yeah, King 8-3. Dustin's going to c-bet here. I see Chad just calling. This is a really dry board. I think Chad's just going to call here. We'll see what kind of run out we get, but he might get saved here. It's not looking great, though. Dustin is a very capable player.
He played it very tricky, just calling that pre-flop.
A king on the turn. No! Dustin probably finds it. He might find a check here.
Oh,
Chad could he does find the check.
oh no!
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
oh,
He bets
wow.
125.
That's 125 all
Dustin
in.
snaps and Chad is put in the blender. What can Chad have? Or what
Oh,
can
this
Dustin
one's
have
so
here?
dirty.
What can Dustin have here? The only bluff I can think of immediately is Queen Jack. But if you're Chad, we have trip kings.
I
We
can't
played
fold
it about
here.
as slow as possible. Dustin snap jams. I mean,
Ace King beats me, but you would have raised with Ace King.
this would be the fold of the tournament for sure if he finds a fold here.
No, he can't.
And
There's-
and that is a sick cooler, folks. Oh my goodness!
Oh man,
Wow.
that's
And, just like that, we're down to 7.
Chad Fowler
Holy.
with the cooler. Live poker is rigged.
Yeah. Yeah, you think you play online, and
Yep.
I see a lot of people saying rigged, but it happens here too.
It does. I just get a kick out of all those people that say it's how rigged live
Yeah.
poker or online poker
Yeah.
is, and that's what I'm like. Have you ever played real
And
poker?
I've been
this
a little
happens.
critical of Jason's play, but it looks like he's coming out the smarter of the two so far.
Yeah, he's laddering up now. He went from
Wow,
1,500 to 1,700
That
to
is
1,900.
a nasty cooler, and now we're gonna end up having kind of a grudge match between Dustin and Mark up top. Wow, Dustin, that is quite a catch on the river. I was really hoping to see what action would be like on the river with a brick, but
Right.
we didn't get that luxury. We just got the cooler of all coolers. So
Wow, I mean,
yeah,
that was so.
Jason was 7-6 suited here. He can consider jamming here. He might put this in the limping range. He decides to fold. Very disciplined fold from him. Dustin's going to have ace-4 suited in the cutoff. He's definitely going to open this, and he's going to take this pot down. So Dustin's really catching fire. He decides to put this in his calling range as well. Wow, all right. Well, Dustin just likes to play post-flop, I guess, because
He does. He wants to just limp around,
Yep.
and
river the nuts.
he likes his
Wow, what a flop
He
here.
likes his post-flop game. In position right
And
now,
Louis
I
just
think it
jams
goes.
with middle pair.
All right. Yep.
And obviously Louis he just wants this hand to be over. He knows that he has a really big advantage being in the big blind, having middle pair. Yeah. Wow.
Kyle Simpson in the Facebook chat says, shout out, guys. Great job in the commentary. Wish you could have been there this fun final table.
I played with Kyle. Yeah, Kyle's a great guy.
Yes.
Him and his girlfriend were here.
Yep.
Me and him were talking. Yeah, great guy.
Nathan says it would be cool to see Taylor move up.
Oh, Taylor? Well, he just got a pay jump. I think he's 6 of 7 right now, right? Is that what I'm...
They're going to balance the table a little bit, give those guys some elbow room.
Yeah, the dealer was a little cramped yesterday.
Yeah.
But, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, you get too many...
I kind of felt bad because I was bumping into him a little bit.
Right. It's a 10-handed table because when I designed it in 2011, that's what we did. Right. Everything was 10-handed. Yep. Now the tournaments are going more 9-handed.
And I really like... When there's 9 pit, I think the 10-handed final table is the only way to go because you don't want the excessive tanking.
Right.
And you're playing 5-handed, and
play hand for hand.
Yeah. Jason's gonna pick up ace deuce suited, and Louis gonna pick up ace-6 suit or ace-6 off. So this is probably just gonna go all in call or limp all in call. And Jason's gonna have to hope for a chop or to spike it here. So good luck to Jason. Louis has not snapped yet. Once he finds out it's 350K, he will probably be making this call.
Yeah, Louis is doing some math.
Yeah, we're going to see an all-in here.
200 for Louis to call. He raised it to 150. Jason went all in for 350. It's only 200 more to call.
I think maybe Louis just didn't know how much he had behind.
Yeah. And that's what I hate.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about, you hate these small stacks because you make it 150, and now you have to just call off with an ace-6.
Yeah,
he's way ahead right now, but he doesn't
Jason's good
think
enough
so.
to shove king, queen, king, jack, king, 10, queen, jack here. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of the time this is going to end up in a chop, but you never know, right? These are the fun ones.
2 comes.
These are the really important ones.
Diamonds comes. Oh, there's a deuce.
That's a deuce.
Deuce from Jason. Louis needs a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, and it can't be the 6 of diamonds. He's down to 2 outs.
Oh, there's chop outs, though. 10 on the river gives him a chop.
Oh, he does hit the 6, but it's a diamond for the flush.
Maybe it's me in the booth, but this has been...
This is just coolers.
This has been, a final table of just absolute
And that's our 10 minutes, so I'm going to hit connect.
Wow.
That was a quick 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, this kind of gives me a little happiness that I wasn't at the final table. This would have been blood would have been pumping.
Oh, it is. It's good stuff. I'm glad you're in the booth with me. This is
great. I mean, I've seen a couple stream games and
let's look and see where Jason's at now.
Yeah, so Jason's sitting.
He won 275K.
Yeah, if you look at where they are comparatively,
he's so Jason's still in 15
he's still
big
effectively last.
Louis lost to him, so he's down 13 big blinds.
So Taylor, Jason, and Louis are all in last place here. So this is going to be really
interesting. And they've got breathing room
see.
now, though. I mean, when
they
you have 6 big blinds, you've got 1 move, but now you got 15. You can actually
see. Now we have an interesting hand.
fold.
Let's see if Dustin decides to limp this queen jack off as well. Seems like he's been playing the strategy. If he limps, obviously Taylor will either raise or jam. So,
he's got like 14 bigs. So
what line will he take? It looks like he's going to take the raising line, which is not going to work out well for him in this instance. So, how big is that raise?
We're doing 150,
he
3x.
Goes 3x. This is going to hurt Dustin. Yeah, this really is. Taylor's just going all in here, unless he finds another miracle fold somehow.
I think he makes a stand now because
he's got
since Jason's not 6 big blinds, he's up to 15. We don't have to worry about the ICM. He just calls here. Oh, he does 3-bet to 400.
He's not really representing much with his 4-bet.
He put in half his stack.
Yeah, here's the problem. He does this. Ace Jack, 10s, 9s, they're in.
Yeah.
And so now you're kind of thinking, well,
he put in half his stack to call.
I just min 3-bet. Well, I would assume so, but then why?
Why not just put it all in?
Why not jam? I feel like that actually makes him less likely to call with hands like ace jack suited,
more suspicious.
ace 10 suited. Yeah. But it's an interesting play. I guess I don't see a lot of. I guess the min 3-bet isn't. The most
raise
popular.
half your stack.
Yeah.
I would have piled it there.
Interesting. Yeah, me too. But I understand the concept though for sure. So really interesting hand. Unlucky for Dustin that he decides to take the raising line, but he's still second, so we're also going to have some...
And he's putting pressure on these players.
We're going to have some blind versus blind action here. King 9 for Mark. he's going to be applying max pressure. Let's see how Gary handles it. Mark's probably going to open for 3x probably off of 30 bigs. Wow. What is Jason doing?
Jason picking a time to...
Wow.
He's got some free chips in front of him. He knows he's going to get by his dad. He can get by the big blind.
King, queen. Mark's going to find a call here, and we're going to see a flop.
Right.
Wow.
He's got the button, and he's got some freshly earned chips.
Very interesting. He's on 15 bigs, and he decides at 3x. This is a very strong range.
Deuce 4-5. That's a great bet for Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
He needs to c-bet that one.
Yeah, 3 on the turn. This is Jason's pot.
Yeah, now he can represent the ace.
Yeah, Jason's good enough to know that he has way more aces than Mark does, and this is a snap fold for Mark. I mean, what is he representing? Yeah. What bluffs does he have?
Like I have a 6.
Very nice hand from Jason.
It was a delayed c-bet.
Yeah, you say maybe he misses a c-bet on the flop. I probably agree with you. His range is really strong there. And obviously, if Mark has a 4 or a deuce, he's really put in the really tough spot. But how much is, how many 4s and deuces is he going to call from the 3x?
From the big blind.
Yep.
And you want to deny him some equity.
Yep.
Don't give him a free card.
Yep, he's got live cards no matter what he's got.
You took the momentum pre-flop. Yep. Let's just stick with it and just throw out a 100K.
Wow, very interesting. He gets his dad to fold king-queen. I mean, if his dad calls 2, he's winning. He's winning that pot as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
really
I think
interesting.
A lot of that is he knows his dad is tighter player, so he's like, this is a free hand.
Yep.
All I have to do is get by the big blind.
And it's also interesting to me because his father knows that he likes to play
and he knows
pots.
that I know that he knows that I know
the
this.
leveling war. Jason picks up ace-8. He's going to raise again. I'm looking for not a 3x sizing here. I would really like. That's a great. Oh, he goes 3x again, but it's going to work out this time. I don't see Jimmy defending.
I actually like the 3x.
You do?
Just because he's in basically the same position, button cut off, and everybody folded to him just like the last hand. So he's keeping his range the same.
Yep.
So regardless of what he has, he's betting the same, so you can't get any tells off of that.
I understand that, for sure.
So I changed my betting.
I've always had the belief that a 2.5x sizing.
Yes. But since he was going 3x,
no, I agree.
I would also go 3x.
If you're going to go 3x,
I would have went 2.1, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole time.
But I get what he's doing with the 3x. He's denying equity. He doesn't want to play pots against the big blind. He doesn't want to play any pots at all.
Yeah. So he
wants to win these
little
pots
bit higher.
as easy as possible. He wants a lot of folds.
It's a higher variance move because you're going to lose more chips when they play back at you.
But you're obviously going to have a stronger range when they do call. And if he's confident in his post-flop game, which he obviously is, then he's going to do great. So
he's moving up.
Yeah.
While we were talking, I didn't look at that stack size. Where's Jason now?
Yeah, Jason's
up there. He's got 21 now.
Yeah, so Taylor and Jason just moved up. So now Louis is the sole. Taylor.
Louis is the ICM guy we got to watch out for.
Wow, Taylor limps under the gun with aces here. The limp with the aces seems to be the play today.
So,
Jimmy,
so sneaky.
I could see Jimmy finding a raise there 25-30% of the time, but he decides to call here. Very interesting flop. Let's see how connected this is.
Oh, wow.
E6-9.
Jimmy hits bottom pair.
Taylor's not going to get any action here, unfortunately
for
him.
He's got top set with backdoor flush draw.
Taylor has the ace of diamonds. He could choose to check. I actually wouldn't mind a check here. He can have hands that are like Jack 10, Queen Jack that don't really want to bet this flop.
Right.
I think he's just betting this flop with his whole range, though, and he's just going to take this one down. So, unfortunate for Taylor. He gets the maximum by limping, but obviously it wasn't a lot more. So, Jimmy's got an easy fold after he thinks about this. He bets 150,000 a 200 pot.
He's wondering right now, do you have a hand that I can represent the ace?
Sure.
The
problem with that is that Jimmy decides to just limp. Small blind. A lot of his aces are just going to want to raise against
unless he wants to float the flop and represent a scary card on the river or on the turn if there's a diamond or like let's say a 10 or an 8.
Taylor could very easily have Jack 10 of diamonds, Queen Jack of diamonds, but the problem is you got to play turns and rivers and great. It's a really good fold.
We're not deep enough to start.
Yeah, really good
floating
fold from Jimmy.
flops.
I like that a lot. So yeah, we're really.
Mark way up ahead.
We've actually got
everybody else right in the middle.
Usually it seems like the final table becomes less consolidated as you go on. This final table has done the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We're really tight in the middle
Mark
now.
way ahead, Louis down at the bottom, and everybody else right between
And Mark
20
isn't
and 28.
really pushing his ICM advantage here, which kind of leaves things open for a really fun final table.
Yep.
And that's no offense to Mark, because Mark has been doing really well.
He's just sitting back and letting the table.
He's taking his spots.
His VPIP, 10%.
Yep, and he's sitting at 2.4 million. He's only went up since he joined this table. Pretty sure he started at like 2.1. So
yep, he won 350 since we sat down 20 hands ago.
So yeah, I mean,
VPIP is 10 out of 20 hands.
I mean, we have to understand too.
Hey Kyle, mind your business.
We got.
Kyle says you guys talk over each other a lot. Kyle's one of my guys from Bemidji. Because we both have so much to say.
Yeah, we do. We're both really talkative guys. Yeah, so I was gonna make this point too with Mark. Like when we're looking at the payouts here, I mean, we're in 7th right now. 7th makes just under 2,000, and the difference between 7th and 3rd is $4,000. So I mean, realistically, Mark playing the way he is, he's pretty much locking up 3rd place, 4th place money, barring a really big cooler. So we're also gonna have a hand father-son action. This
King 10.
Let's see if Gary defends again. I'm gonna want to see a 3x sizing from Jason. Jason's gonna make it 2x here. We'll see if he switches it up with 20 big line stack. Maybe he is.
Did the blinds just go up?
I don't
50.
believe
We were at 50 the whole
50,
time.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow. And that's what Mark's been waiting for, really. He understands that Jason has been opening quite a bit. Mm-hmm. He has the ace. He's gonna find 2 folds here unless Gary decides to defend. Very nice hand. Let's see if he gets action from Gary.
Mark's thinking if Gary's not strong enough to raise, I don't think he's strong enough to call.
Yep, he's just playing against Jason.
250K.
Yep. Just checking it out. Yeah, and Jason's his PFR is at 20%. His pre-flop raise, which means he's been relatively aggressive. So, and now Jason's put in a spot. This is going to be a fold. I think he's just Hollywooding here a little bit. So. Yeah, really interesting. Gary does stick in the call. We're going to see. I'm really glad he called. I really want to see how this... Mark has a massive advantage unless Gary hits the flop here. I mean, if Gary misses the flop, Mark wins the pot.
Yep, and Mark looked over and said, how many chips do you have?
Yep.
It's 2.1.
Yep, Mark knows what he's doing here. Gary, yeah, and this is just... Mark's just going to win this hand here. He actually flops the best of it.
Yeah, he flops the best hand.
Wow, he checks as well.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting line.
Ooh, I don't love that.
He's gonna bet the. Wow. This is a very interesting. He baits out a bet. Wow, and Mark's just gonna win a massive pot. That is cool.
775.
I personally didn't agree with the check either, but it worked out.
Yeah,
wow.
It happened to work out. I mean, when you raise with A7 and flop the 7.
And now the rest of the table.
Unless he was just nervous that Gary had something to call 2 raises with.
But the problem with Gary's range is that he's leading a lot.
Yeah,
of his sets.
He would have bet
he's
it.
Leading.
He would have.
And that's what he likes to do. He does balance it a little bit. He does lead middle pair, stuff like that. But obviously you have that crushed. So, but yeah, and now like the rest of the table is probably feeling pretty nervous right now because Mark just has
go up now.
Yeah, Mark has a massive chip advantage here. If Mark really wanted to, he can shove all of his playable hands here and probably get away with it and be making money. So
force people to make hands against.
Yeah,
you.
wow, that A7 hand is very impressive to me. That's a really great hand for him.
I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. You
want no problem. I got my water. We're good. Yep. Appreciate it though. So I'm gonna be holding it down for a little bit. Yeah, Louis decides to flat here. We're gonna see a flop. Jason with the reverse nuts, 7 deuce off. Ace King 9 board. Louis just gonna bet and take it down. Louis is the definitive short stack now. Oh, Jason's picking up chips. Let's see if this is just a Hollywood or he decides to find a jam here, which is very unlikely, but Really good hand from Louis. So as was just said, it looks like the blinds have went up. I'm seeing 50K, 75K, and that is correct. 50K, 75K, 75K big blind ante. We're really seeing the bottom 5 stacks having less than 15 bigs. I mean, we're gonna see how much aggression Mark puts on here. That's really what I would say we should be looking out for. Because Mark really has the advantage. It's buffering at the moment, but Dustin's going to end up with ace-queen suited. Let's see if he decides to open or limp. He's been playing both quite effectively, so we'll see what Dustin does. I see ace-queen suited probably being a raise here. Wow. Dustin just decides to effectively go all in here. And he's just going to get quick folds. Very nice from Dustin. Solidifying himself in second place here. So, great out of him. Yeah, these guys have been playing. Play started yesterday at 11 a.m. I believe. So these guys, if they came in early, they've been playing for 14 hours to this point. So it's been grueling to get here, and we're only a couple hours away from probably crowning a winner here with these blinds. So really going to be interesting to see how this ends up. Dustin again wakes up with the hands. He has pocket sixes. And we'll see. I'm looking for Dustin to raise again. But he decides to flat. And Louis shoves with an unknown hand. We got to be put in Dustin's position. He just limps with sixes. He's put himself in a very tough spot here. Wow, that's very interesting. Dustin's just going to be thinking, do we think Louis is just going to be shoving under pairs to our sixes here? He's kind of eyeing him down, and he has put himself in a very interesting spot. I think if he opens I think he just snap folds, but I think because he limped, just adds that extra dynamic. Yeah, you just missed a very interesting hand. But we're still at.
So it's only been 6 minutes, and I already had to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
That's no problem. All right. Normally I get 10 minutes out of that, so I'm going to reset this one.
Yeah, again, maybe it's me. There's bad luck for. The father and son are at the bottom right now, but they definitely have the ability to get up.
3 players down in the next 25 minutes calling it.
Well, I don't know how long he said that ago, but it's...
Kyle, he just said it a couple minutes ago.
Mark picks up ace. Wow, this is going to be a very interesting hand. Let's see what Louis does with ace 9 suited. I see, if he opens, I see Mark just shoving. I would really like to see a shove out of Mark. Yeah, he's.
How about Jason with ace 10?
I think Jason should shove here, but he decides not to. Now, what does Mark do? Wow, Mark decides to lay it down. Interesting.
The ICM implications were...
Yeah, I don't know. I think over Louis' limp, he just shoves and takes it down. But since Jason decides to raise, let's see what Louis does here. Louis, I think if I'm Louis, we're shoving or folding, but he decides to go right in the middle. He decides to call. He wants to see a flop. He's here to play poker.
Yeah.
So this is a huge flop for not only them, but for the rest of the table. Flop is dry. Queen 8.
All in. Oh, he just snaps.
Wow, and
all
he
in.
jams. Jason is in a nightmare position.
Yeah.
Louis
Jason
could easily
shakes his head. He's like, "Damn it! I'm going to give this guy 500 chips." Really?
Louis could easily have the broadways. And that is just
a snap
that
shove.
is a great play from Louis. He calls with a plan. Dry
His plan
board,
was
snap.
shove any flop.
Wow. And, well.
And it worked.
Like I've said before, what do I know? So, wow, the 3 shortest stacks.
We call
really,
that the stop and go.
Yeah. Well, that's a great play. And
Jason.
Louis just solidified himself as third. He's got a little wiggle room now, so.
Jason and Gary down to the bottom in the red zone with 8 and 9 big blinds.
And Jimmy and Taylor are right down there with them. I mean,
Jimmy was scaring people. He left. He had to go to run to the bathroom or something, and nobody.
this morning.
Just now.
Oh.
Well,
this morning
in a little bit.
Well.
I'm on a 10-minute delay. When I was out there getting my coffee,
Oh.
he was away from the table, and people were like, "Did Jimmy bust? Did Jimmy bust?" Because they saw his chair was empty,
Okay, sure.
and the way his chair was positioned, you couldn't see his chips behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah, Louis gonna find an open here.
So the
or a limp.
girl on the rail behind him must have walked away, and she comes back and sees his empty chair. She's like, "Did Jimmy bust?"
Right.
You know, the lady right there. And then some other people in the
Wow,
outside
and
tables were asking.
Jimmy doesn't take the bait. He doesn't shove here. He just decides, let's see it flop. Let's play some poker. Louis coming off that massive hand, really. He's at the same level as Dustin now, so this is going to be really interesting.
Jimmy flops a gut shot.
Yeah, the question really is, does Louis find a C-bet here? I don't think he will, because he doesn't have a spade in his hand. But I've been wrong many times before. So, yeah, we'll
Jimmy
see.
checks, Dustin checks. It's back to Louis now.
Yeah, Louis decides to just check behind. He has the best of it right now, but there's a lot of scary turn cards for sure.
3,
That's
Jimmy
one
gets
of
a
them.
straight.
Yeah,
He
Jimmy
checked.
just checks.
And did you
very
see him
nice
look
check.
away?
Yep.
Like he's like, "Oh, I'm done with this hand.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Nothing
And
to
now
worry about here."
Louis has the gutter. He decides
All right,
to check.
He's going to bet. What does Jimmy bet on the river?
And
100
a queen. Wow. Jimmy decides to check. Interesting. I think
Checks
if he
again.
bets,
He's trying so hard to
Wow,
induce a
and
bet,
he's gonna bait
and
it.
it works. He's going to get 200 chips more.
Jimmy's going to find the jam here. Let's see. I think jam's the only play. Louis has a queen, which is very unlikely the way that.
Right, yeah, he doesn't have a queen.
If he has a queen, Louis is going to have a nightmare situation. And he's thinking maybe a little Hollywooding here to try to get Dustin in. I really like avoiding the snap call here for sure.
Yeah. Now, does he make it 400 to
No,
try to get a little more out of
I think
Louis,
he
or
just-
does he make it 200 and try to get?
Yeah, I think making it 400 just actually makes it less likely to get called by a queen than by jamming. But it really doesn't matter. Louis has ace 10, and
they both
he gets
fold.
the fold. And really nice hand from Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really great final table.
Really funny
Yeah,
one.
from the
really
start.
fun.
Yeah.
So we were at 50,000, 75,000. This is the earthy tones. This is the 40-80 level when we have 5Ks in play, but the 5Ks are gone, so we made it 50-75. I didn't like the 50-100. That was too big of a jump, so we backed it down.
Sure.
Give these players another level to play.
Yeah,
when
giving
money
extended
matters.
playability is always the best, you know. People like to see flops, and once you get down to 10 bigs, it's kind of hard to do that. So, even though people have been finding ways on this final table, 10 bigs, 15 bigs, seeing flops. So, yeah, I really want to see Mark open here. This is going to be big here. I really want to see an open from Mark.
In the cutoff with a suited king.
Yeah, king 6 suited here. I think
he's got all the chips.
Yeah,
He's
it's a
got 3
mandatory
million
open
chips.
from him.
There you go. Here's Jimmy goes to the bathroom now.
Oh.
And while he's gone, I had like 3 people ask if he busted.
What do you think about the size of 175?
I think he has enough chips to do whatever he wants, and I would like to see more of that.
Okay. Yeah,
I would like to see him just go 175 every hand until somebody
agree.
plays back at him.
Yep. Force them to make a play.
You know, all of a sudden they go from 12 blinds to 11 blinds to 10 blinds, and he's just going to pick up the blinds and antes, and he's going to keep getting bigger and bigger until somebody plays back at him. Once somebody does, okay, I'll let it go.
Right.
And then we'll pick right up again the next hand.
Yeah. Realistically, Mark's had an 11% VPIP, which I know is a little skewed, but it's probably pretty close.
This is accurate now.
Oh, this is accurate?
Yeah, because we reset it at break.
Yeah, so VPIP just means just voluntary.
Yep,
playing
voluntarily
it out.
putting it in the pot.
Yeah, so basically he's just not playing a lot of hands, but the ones he is,
So
he's
we're
taking
at
very
hand
aggressive
28.
lines. Yep.
So he's played like 11%. He's played
like 3 hands.
Yeah, 3 hands. Every 10 times, every once around the orbit, he'll play a hand.
But the hands he has been playing, like the A7 hands, he's really just been taking the most aggressive lines, which is really what you got to do when you have the massive chip stack like he does.
Yeah, I would like him to open up more. See, now here's where she asks if he busted.
Oh.
She's like, oh, did Jimmy bust?
We also got a really interesting hand. Dustin's going to find a call, and I think Taylor is just going to raise this. And Dustin's putting himself in these really bad spots with these limps. He just had to fold 6s to Louis' jam for 10 bigs. He's just kind of been wow, and he decides to call. He decides to put Taylor to the test, say outplay me post flop. I'm just limping because I think that.
Oh,
and he spikes it. And Taylor, this is probably a flop where I'm just jamming here. I have a massive
Taylor?
advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
We fold out all broadways here, and I'm probably just either jamming or betting around 200K and folding to a jam if he decides to take that line. Yeah. Wow, and he goes 300, which is probably the worst sizing he could have.
Yeah, that's half his stack.
Oh, now this shove is just going to put him in a nightmare spot.
And Taylor just put in half a stack. Now here, there's $2 million in the pot. It's cost $375 to call. He's getting a great.
Yeah, he actually just
great odds.
Yeah, he actually just gave himself the odds to call. Dustin could. The problem is Taylor has the jack of clubs, but Dustin could easily have a flush draw here. If he has a flush draw, he's just jamming.
And Taylor's.
If he has an under pair, we have 2 overs. He has 7s. We have 2 overs. We have backdoor clubs. He doesn't know that.
If he wins 1 out of 5 times,
yeah, he has to call. And this is why the 300K sizing is probably the worst one he could have picked.
It was,
but he probably wasn't. He probably wasn't expecting a jam.
Right.
So
this is where you just shove, and then when Dustin snaps you off, you turn a jack.
Yeah, and
he does call.
Yep. Good luck to Taylor here. He's gonna need some help.
And he had the correct odds to call.
Yeah. But he just put
because of the pot size
really
that was bloated. Yeah. And he needs to now hit a jack exactly.
Yeah, I think he's going broke on that flop no matter what. So.
Yep. No matter how he plays that one.
Taylor, I think Taylor actually played this final table really well. So. Yeah. Good job for him. He takes 7th for like 1975. I think.
He takes 7th for. Let me hit reset really quickly, and then I'll pull up the payouts.
Let's see. Was I right? Oh. It doesn't show it. Oh,
okay, no. I've got it over here, though.
It'll forever be a mystery.
7th
I guess
is
1975.
1975 is correct. Yeah, 1975.
The photographic memory.
There it is.
It wasn't enough to get me on the final table, but at least I can guess.
Yes.
Accurate payout information.
And that was Taylor.
That was Taylor, yeah. Yeah, and I got to give props to Jason here. He started 9 of 9 pretty clearly.
Yep.
And I've been
and all the stuff we were saying.
I've been a little critical of his play, but he's made me look like a fool here, and he's really.
Well, he's got the money now.
And just as I say that, he's going to be put to the test here. His ace-8 in the big blind for about 7 bigs, and Jimmy is going to be raising a decent amount of the time here. He raises 200,000. Pretty reasonable size. Dustin might find a 3-bet. I'd be interested. I kind of want to see Dustin find a shove here with the payout implications. That's what we mean when we say ICM. Louis has an unknown hand. 5 deuce, no good. Jason's just probably going to have to shove here. He folds. Oh, no, he didn't fold. Not yet. I was going to say, if he folds, I will be failing on the... this is probably just a shove here for Jason. This is really unfortunate. He does fold. Wow. I don't know how much Jason and Jimmy have played together, but that is an incredible fold. Wow. Yeah, I've just turned to pretty much just singing Jason's praises for the past like half an hour. So, but Jimmy will take it down. I'm sure
And Jason is, his cumulative winnings is 0 right now after 30 hands at the final table. So he's been picking up blinds and then paying his blinds and then picking up blinds and paying his blinds.
But even so, I mean, he has a 31% VPIP. I mean, he has been playing hands. He's just he's avoiding risking all of his chips because he believes that other people will make mistakes or get coolered, which has happened obviously once. And we have another spot here. Jason has ace-7 again, or he had ace-8 before. And now against Dustin, against this limp, now he has to jam pretty much. I think I've said that like 5 times. And
he has to jam.
But I think this time is the time. And Justin's just going to have to snap call here when he limps. I mean, he's putting himself in this position. But he's definitely going to think about it. He's not suited. Jason's got 7 bigs.
He has to catch up against any ace, which is a situation where
But they're flipping, and
400 to call.
This is a big flip for the rest of the table here.
1.1 million chips.
Yeah, the difference between 6th and 5th is about $1,000. So about 2 buy-ins, 2.5 buy-ins. Pretty substantial.
Yeah. Between 6th and 5th?
Yeah. It's like 800.
It's $800.
Which is like 2 buy-ins, yeah. Queen high flop. Dustin's going to need some help.
The 7 stays ahead, so that doesn't change anything. Needs a
3.
king or a 10. They're all live. Nobody folded a king or a 10.
And I'm assuming he missed by his reaction. Yeah, very nice hand from Jason again. I mean, he's played hands a little differently than how I would have played him, but he's also sitting in 6th.
Right.
And I got 12th. So I think I should probably be taking lessons from him.
Well, he's blinding.
The other way around. Yeah, great play from him. Obviously, that's a mandatory shove for sure, and he gets in good. So
gets rewarded
good
for
job.
Ace high. He did pair a 7, which is irrelevant.
Yep.
Ace high would have won it.
Gets rewarded for his patience. Great play.
Yeah, he's up to 2,600.
We still have the father-son. I'm really rooting for the father-son heads-up match. I know it's unlikely with the current chip stack, but no offense to the other players, but I really want to see it. So.
It would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm sure they want to do it.
Just like they're playing at home, except it's for $5,000, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mark picks up ace-5 here. This is going to be dangerous. Mark is going to find a lot of aggression here out of the big blind. But he's probably just going to... I don't think Gary is the type to shove king 3 off. Blind v blind here. Wow. Louis raises to 300,000. And now Mark is kind of thinking, I just got to fold. I'm just going to dodge the monsters, whatever Louis had. Still good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Good stuff. Looks like the other tournament is out of their first break as well.
Yep, they're back to playing. They're all.
But like I said, we're still pretty deep if you guys want to come down and play. So, I mean, we're still
registration open for 4 more hours.
Maybe
or 3 more hours. 1 o'clock.
It's
4 more hours.
It's 4 more hours,
with the break. Yeah. So we've got Dustin under the gun with the 4-7. Offsuit. Folds around. Jason calls from the cutoff with 9-10. Gary raises it. His dad raises it to 150. And Jason folds it, and Dad picks up a pot. Yes, Kyle, if everyone played poker the same, it would be a very boring game. Lots of ways to play this game we call poker. Down to the final 6 players, 177 started. Jason Singer in the hijack with a suited 8 jack. No, he lets it go. Gets down to Mark Duffner on the button, folds. Jimmy Wynn with the Deuce Trey. He folds it, doesn't even complete. Dustin gets a walk. My next feature table in the area, I believe, is maybe October? November? I would have to check. I leave Monday for Oklahoma. I stream down at the Choctaw Casino in Durant, Oklahoma, right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma. I stream there for a week, and then I jump back in the RV and go to Daytona Beach for a week. Stream the the Great American Poker Tour, the GAPT, in Daytona Beach in Florida. And then I come back home on the 27th. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back in this area, though. Whenever Roughrider or 701 asks me to, I suppose.
I'm sure by that time you'll be pretty happy to be home.
I'll be happy to be home on the 27th for sure. Yeah. I love what I do, but these 17-hour days are just.
So you're going down and then over, and then all. I wonder what
Then a kitty corner back.
Yeah, you know what the drive is from Daytona to. Do you still live in Bemidji?
Bemidji, 24 hours.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a 2-day drive.
Sure.
I'm going to stop halfway. I'm flying out my wife.
Yeah, getting walk with kings. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's not the best. Louis just got walked with queens or kings. Sorry.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
When we were talking?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah. No. I don't know if he looked at his cards or not, but
I always
hopefully
do.
he didn't. I always do, and I'm sure he does too. So let's see what Louis does here. He wants to see a flop. He's like, I just got walked with kings.
Yeah.
I deserve a flop.
Give me something.
We're gonna see a 3-way flop here. Very connected hands here, so there's a lot of fun flops that can come out. Hopefully we see one of them. Wow. It is fun, but Gary's probably just gonna take this down. Actually, he bets really small. Jason doesn't have a hand that can call him. Let's see if Jason, pulls one over on his.
Yeah,
on his
Gary
dad.
flops the open-ended, the gut shot royal flush.
Yeah. Have you ever hit a royal flush?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the time. I've hit it twice.
Yeah.
In a small cash game in my basement, I turned the royal flush, and it got a lot of action because everybody just had parts of the board. That's my 10-minute warning.
Yeah, that's always the best feeling. Usually when you get a royal flush, it's very pretty, but not a lot of value to be had.
Yeah, if I posted on Facebook because I post everything on Facebook, so I could go back and look. But it was a lot. Like people had trips, and another person had a flush, and another person had,
lower flush. Yeah.
It was a good one. The one guy folded queens on the flop who would have turned a set, and I would have got all his money too, but he let go of it on the flop.
You know what hand you had?
I think I had like king jack of spades.
So it's an ace high flop.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was like ace 10, whatever, and then queen of spades on the turn.
Looks like Dustin's going to run into it again here. Jason's sitting with nines. Most likely going to jam, but I've been wrong.
We don't know what Jason's going to do.
I
jam with two nines.
I think if I say that Jason will just try to complete here, then he'll jam.
Yeah,
so.
I think he's going to. I'll take the bet that he jams.
Yeah, especially when
with a raise and a call, he's going to get it all in.
Especially if Louis decides to find a call here. I don't know if he still has his cards or not, but King Nine suited is an interesting hand. You're on the button, you have position. Looks like he folded though, because Jason's figuring out that I have 10 bigs and it's all going in the middle. Yeah.
Wow.
He calls.
So Louis folds.
I think I heard all in, but I couldn't hear.
Jason calls. Wow.
And we're going to see a flop. Again, taking the least variance line, and he's just going to get c-bet off of this.
Yep.
So.
This is just the worst. So he's like, okay, check fold.
Yeah, that's tough for Jason. Dustin's just going to check, but unless Jason spikes a 9 here, he's not going to be winning this pot.
Oh, he did. Is Dustin afraid of the ace?
No.
Not when he doesn't. Not when he doesn't bet the flop.
This is a decent bet if he's planning to jam the river, but I don't think he is. He has 9s here.
Yeah, he's got 600 with 2 overs.
Yeah, we have
he
much
got
better
called.
hands to jam here with, so we're just checking here. We're a little upset that we didn't. We're maybe happy that we didn't jam, seeing the ace high flop. But I think Dustin folds if he shoves back, so he didn't know that.
Check. Yeah. Dustin's happy to see a.
And he shows the 9s too. I would have preferred. Well, I guess he has to show him just in case.
He officially has to show him, but if he pauses and Dustin flips up his jack, he can muck it.
Yeah, I don't really like showing 9s. The rest of the table is going to read that, especially Mark. Because Mark.
I was going to say, really? You're just limping with 9s?
And now we're kind of getting unconsolidated here. We're kind of looking at Dustin and Mark at the top, and then everybody
The blinds
else.
went up and moved around.
Yeah, I think the person that has the hardest spot is probably like Jimmy. I think he's in third. I think he's going to have the toughest time kind of maneuvering, especially when players are so unwilling to go all in.
Right.
And you want to put pressure on them, but speaking of which, he picks up king, queen off under the gun. This is going to be a tough spot for Jimmy. He's probably going to find an open here, but you have to be afraid of Mark, who's in the big blind, and is probably going to want to play a hand. He's just probably not this time. 175, really good size for him. Dustin's going to fold. What does Jason do in the button? He just completed with 9s. Does he try to see a cheap flop with queen jack, hoping that Mark has a hand like 9 deuce in the big blind?
Man, Jimmy Wynn has not been getting out of hand at all. He's got a 7% pre-flop raising.
And he does decide to try to spike a queen or a jack or some equity and just go with it on the flop.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his plan.
He's got the button.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of flop we get.
Jimmy's gonna just
flop.
continue and take it.
See if Jimmy
550 in the pot. He's gonna bet one.
He just decides to jam, and Jason's just gonna fold.
Oh, he's
nice
at
hand over
300.
Jimmy. Yeah, it's great, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, really nice hand. Yeah, and now we're getting Jimmy, Dustin, and Mark getting to the top, especially with that hand. And Jason and Gary back at the bottom. But the one that busts next is going to be $2,600 richer, right? So.
Yep. And so they might be laddering to get that extra 800.
Perhaps over each other. Very likely over each other. So. Wonder if they have any kind of last longer bet on too. That'd be really interesting.
2-4.
So how late do you like to enter this 315 tournament?
Yeah,
that's going on?
So my kind of.
Where are we right now? It started at 11, so it's 2
we're at
o'clock. It's got to
2-4
be
right
going
now.
to level 7, right?
Yeah, we're at 2-4 right now.
2-4 is all?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm probably looking at 50K
They've been playing
starting.
for 2 hours.
I'm probably looking at the 3-6 or the 4-8.
Jason is playing so poorly right now. Rex Charger.
Jason.
I have to disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand where you're coming from, but I understand where he's coming from as well. He understands
He's
that.
in 6th place now when he could have been in 9th place easily. Jimmy's got 3 aces.
Obviously, I've been critical of his play too, but
right. I'm.
And Jimmy checks 3 streets.
Louis actually
trips.
Louis might get paid. Nothing.
He checked 3
he
streets.
He just continued to check from the blind, hoping somebody would stab at it.
And Louis just
9-9
checks
hand
back
was
the
abysmal.
queen.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have shoved the 9-9 pre-flop.
But I think that another component is that Dustin has been, like we see here, 35% VPIP. Yep. Dustin's been really aggressive, and so maybe he's just thinking, I'm just going to see a flop here.
Yeah,
outplay him.
That's why I don't want to see a flop. If he's aggressive and he's just raising any hand, I want to just take it pre-flop.
No, I agree. I was just explaining his rationale as well. He's also thinking, too, that, maybe this is out of line, but Mark as well, he's still a massive chip stack. And so one big pair against a smaller pair, money's going in.
Exactly.
Especially
and he
with
can ladder up, get another $800 real dollars.
Yeah. We're
and he's done that for the last 9 people, or the last. We started out with 12 people.
I think we're gonna have a fun blind versus. Wow, never mind. Mark just decides, I have position. Let's put pressure on. Jimmy's probably gonna find a call.
I want Mark to do more of this.
I do as well. I think he's
now.
just waiting. He's kind of been putting in terrible spots recently. Especially with Jason, he's been playing a lot of hands, even short stacked. Jimmy's considering folding here. I don't blame him. He does call, and I think Dustin probably calls as well. The small open
second chips right now.
Queen Jack also not good.
0.6.
Small open Queen Jack. Trying to think of that hand. But that might have been the hand where he was under the gun, because he didn't open that last hand. Wow, King 9-7, and this is a board where Mark kind of dominates this board.
Yeah, Mark dominates his range.
And he decides to check here.
I want to see a continue there.
I do as well. 4 of spade, especially without a spade. We've seen Jimmy take pots like this as well.
That he doesn't deserve.
Yeah,
he does have the best hand in this situation.
He realistically has no equity. And I think Mark is probably going to take the hand.
Continue delayed c-bet.
And he's going to take this one down. Yeah, like I said, I like seeing a flop c-bet, but I'm glad that he delayed c-bet because he needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's thinking this is a easy fold. Dustin folds immediately. Great hand from Mark.
So the result was the same.
Yeah,
Just
so
took him one extra street.
A lot of what you learn as far as ICM and stuff, like the independent chip model and stuff, is that you can just jam on these players. But Mark's taking a different approach, and it's working really well. He's just picking his spots. I have position.
Small ball.
Let's see a flop. This flop's good for me. I bet it. Have fun calling me down with second pair. Have fun calling me down with a spade draw. Yeah. Really good approach from him. I like it. Yeah, and he just gradually just pulling away. He started at 2.1 million. He's sitting at about 3.1 million right now.
Jason and Gary down at the bottom still. Yep. Jason with 400. Gary with 700.
Let's see if Mark opens again if he gets a chance. No, Gary decides to open with Jack 10 off. Interesting. And he's going to get it through. Wow.
Jack 10.
And that's a very good raise from him with his tight image. I really like that play.
Yeah, for sure.
He needs to pick a couple hands that he's going to decide to bluff with.
Yeah, now that he's got that tight image and these people have been watching him, now's the time to just come at it more.
That's right.
In position.
10
like
hands,
this.
like
When
every
it
10
folds around
hands
to
or
you.
so. Broadway, open it up. People are folding 7s to you. People are folding 8s to you.
Yep.
And so if he's seen that, if he's watched it yesterday, these players probably watched that too. So
That's on a 10-minute warning, so I'm going to hit reset after this hand.
Oh, we have a really interesting pot brewing as well.
Queen
Gary is
10.
doing it again. I disagree with this one. Not just because he has ace-jack off,
He's under the gun.
but just because he's saying, now I'm opening a regular range now.
Yep.
And I think
He's
Dustin
losing his tight image.
I
if
think
he
Dustin just
continues
flats
to do
here.
this.
And then Jason's put in like a very weird spot. I think Jason might actually call here. He has so much equity. He should just shove, but if he calls, he's basically shoving. So
Yeah.
and maybe he just wants to go.
He's in the
three ways.
big blind. He's already got his ante in there.
Yeah, I think
He's only got
shoving.
275
I think shoving,
left.
putting his dad in a really tough spot. If he
And then he
shoves
goes
here.
heads up against Dustin.
I could see all three options. I could see him folding. Folding's probably a fine option as well.
Yeah, if he folds now and Gary and Dustin, let's say Dustin takes out Gary, now he moves up from 2,600 to
In King
3,400.
suited, you're obviously not going to be ahead, but that's not what you're looking for. You're just thinking, do I have enough equity here to make this call? And he does go all in. I understand this play. This is good.
Yeah, I could have
and he
argued
gets
all
and he
three
gets
plays.
the fold from Gary. That's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
Now he's
Dustin's calling and we're
yep.
flipping.
Dustin's
against
just
one guy.
snapping. Maybe he doesn't know how much he has, but yeah.
He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I really
175
like this play from Jason. Not just because his dad had Queen 10, but also because if his dad has a strong hand, his dad is jamming, and so Dustin is.
Yeah. Now he's got to go up against two people,
and he
does
hits
hit
the
a king.
king.
And plan B is you get lucky.
That's right, and obviously this is a 60-40, so obviously he got a
Dustin
really
hit
good
an
spot.
ace.
Yeah, but he has to dodge the ace here.
He's got
and
8%
again, Jason might make me look like an absolute fool, and he does. Great hand. Great hand. I really like that play.
And the trick on that one, though, is he stood up to walk away.
That's right. That adds
said good game.
That adds an extra 5%.
I was going to say at least 5%.
Yeah, it's verified. Yeah, it's in the book that you were talking about. Yeah.
Stand up. Now, if he had a backpack that he could put on, and then start walking away, in the wintertime he could have a coat on, maybe some mittens. It adds a lot.
Right, and that's why if you have shades. You take them off, you put them on the hat.
Yeah, like, okay, we're
it adds
done
a
with
couple,
this.
like 1 or 2%.
I mean, it helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah,
you
for
need
anyone,
those edges.
For anyone at home, Yeah. Yeah, anywhere you can get them.
Just one.
These guys are funny. I brought my 6-pack of walkies, and they've been having fun with them all weekend.
And Gary's just going to go get a walk here, which kind of sucks for him because he has a very good hand in the big blind. But, wow. And Jason just knows, my dad's not going to raise me enough. I can see
Right.
I can see a flop.
I can limp.
And now does Jason c-bet? He doesn't.
Now he needs a 2, 4, 6.
I think if we're limping,
he got the 4 for the nuts.
Never mind. I was going to say,
Let's just make the best hand.
Yeah, if we're seeing 6 deuce here, I really want to see a c-bet on the flop, but obviously his dad doesn't have anything, so. I really like.
That was our 10-minute warning. Remember, I forgot to hit connect.
I really like limping there. It looks like bad, but the dynamic makes it to where it's probably making money. So, gotta play from him. And now he's put himself at the spot where Gary was previous. Gary had about a 2-1 chip lead on Jason, and now it's flipped. So,
Gary's down to 7 big blinds.
That's a great dynamic, father-son. With Jason being so short at the beginning, I was afraid that it wouldn't last very long, but it has, and it's been really fun to watch.
Rex has a little soft play there. You got to jam with King Queen.
Sure, I agree. That's just not how he plays, though.
But how he's been playing, it's not that he didn't jam because it's his kid. He didn't jam because he doesn't play that way.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Does he mean soft play as like in?
Yeah, he's like a little collusion.
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's any collusion there.
Probably,
it's just that Dad doesn't play that way.
Yeah, he probably just missed the.
And Jason knows that he doesn't play that way, so it's safe for him to limp in. If I've got a passive player on my left, I limp every time. If
Also,
I got
Jason opens
player,
5-3 suited here. Again, this looks bad, but I really like this as well. Or did he open or did he limp?
I'm not positive what happened.
Well, if he opened, even though it didn't work, I really like that play as well. Because again, his dad's in a small blind. Of course, his dad decides to put his foot down. This is a really interesting chart here. Mark's actually at the bottom, which is like the exact opposite of what you would expect to see.
He should be at the top.
But I think he just sees that guys like Jason and Dustin are really opening a lot. So he's just going to pick his spots to 3-bet.
He also doesn't want to come to the final table as a huge chip leader and then just give it all away. I've seen that happen a lot of times also.
And obviously, getting second is better than getting 6 money-wise. Right. So definitely understand.
Well, he can start. He'll probably open his range up when we get down to 4 and 5 handed, and then he'll start playing. And all he did is blind out. He's actually won, almost a million chips playing this way.
No, it's just interesting. That's not what you usually expect.
Right.
But he.
If I have a massive chip stack, I'm opening every hand.
And see, a fold like that is very important. Like sometimes when you get to be the chip leader, you just want to apply max pressure. But sometimes you have 8 deuce in the small blind. You're like, let me see a flop. Well, Jimmy's a very capable player. You don't want to be limping there. So
white feathering. Kamikaze Kyle, retired poker player from Bemidji. I think he has 17 kids now, Kyle.
17?
No, he's got like 4. He had a COVID baby too.
Oh, really? Good. Congratulations, Kyle.
When he stayed home.
Yeah.
When all the pandemic stayed home, nothing to do but snuggle, Netflix, and chill.
That's right. I've always wanted to see the statistics on that. How many kids came out of COVID? I'm sure
it'll be a boom.
Yeah,
it's
gotta be
like the baby boom of World War II.
Yeah, nothing better to do, right? Wow. No, really. Louis decides to take the King 7 off here. And he's going to get it through.
Because he's under the gun, he's got to pay the ante next hand.
Yeah.
So he wants to force it through a hand before he has to.
I guess that's what you're thinking, Jimmy. I mean, this is a...
He actually had 2 kids during the last COVID.
Oh.
A couple of them. Finally had a girl.
Yeah, easy fold from Jimmy there. He was pining a little bit, but against Louis' range there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
and
you
now
don't
Louis
expect
picked up the blinds and antes,
Yep.
so he can afford the blinds and antes this
Yep.
hand. You see that a lot with the big blind ante
Yep.
when it gets later in the stages.
Yep.
When you have to pay.
Yeah.
You know, Gary's got 10 big blinds. He's got to pay ante and a blind. He's down to 8.
And I actually missed this, but we actually just increased to 50,000, 100,000, 100,000 big blind.
Okay.
So this next hand.
Blinds are up.
And that's maybe another factor too. He maybe saw that and was like, you know.
Yeah. I need to get this through now before I have to pay
a king.
200.
Pat says I'd like to see the divorce statistics of COVID too. Yeah, that's probably a decent point too. You know, stay at home a little bit more.
Yep. Find out who you love.
Here's a spot for Mark. He opens 200,000. I would like a larger size. It's gonna work. I don't think Louis can defend here, but Louis does like seeing flops, so we'll see what
But
happens.
he's so short.
Yeah, he's very short.
It's a tenth of his stack.
I think he might see a flop. 9-8 is pretty.
He's in for 100. He's going to call another 100.
Yeah, and this is why I want that larger size. This is why I want a 250,000. But Mark's still going to have the massive advantage post flop. So 7-7-3. Mark's just going to c-bet and take this one down. Good hand from Mark. Great size from him. 125K, beautiful.
Yeah. Picks up 350K.
Great stuff.
Louis drops a little bit more.
Yeah, and Mark's really, he's really just working this final table.
Blinds up.
And we're looking at that next jump.
Louis is down to 7 big blinds. Gary right behind him with 8 big blinds. Mark way up at the top with 37 still.
Yeah, he's
Jimmy
really,
with 17.
Yeah, him, Jimmy, and Dustin have really been just sitting at the top ever since.
They haven't been played a lot. If you check out the VPIP stats,
Mm-hmm.
Mark's at 10, Jimmy's at 21, Gary's at 10.
Yep. The action has really come from Dustin, who is going to probably take this pot down as well. He has a7 on the button. He's definitely going to open this up. He decides to flat here. He's putting this in his flat range. Very interesting. I kind of want to ask him about that. Kind of seems like he's genuinely mixing, raising, and flatting in these later positions.
Yeah, what's his method? What's his
I don't know. Well,
his plan?
Is there a method? I'm sure there is.
Are you accidentally doing this?
Yeah, Dustin's a very capable player. I actually played with him in Bismarck. I played an event through.
Is he purposely balancing his ranges, or is it just instinct?
Right. Does he just know? Feels the cards. Louis going to lead for 100K. Super strong range. Super small bet. Super strong range. Dustin's just going to let this one go. He's not. He faked me out there. I think this is just a fold. Good fold from Dustin. We don't get to see Louis' cards. It's forever a mystery.
Yes. Louis picks up 300,000 in that hand.
Yeah, like I said, he throws people off with the big hat, but he knows what he's doing out there.
He does.
Yeah,
There's a lot of poker in Florida right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, you've got Best Bet up in Jacksonville. You've got Daytona Beach. You got Orange, is it Orange County or Orange City, whatever it is. They've got a poker room. There's poker rooms, card rooms up and down the coast.
Yep, love to see that. I mean, obviously, from being up here, just hoping for
Exactly.
better legislation, but obviously that takes time.
And that's when I started my bar games, because we didn't have any casino poker up in Bemidji.
Yep.
We would have to drive 4 hours
And
to
even in
Canterbury,
Minnesota,
run
it's
races.
still pretty
Minnesota
rough.
is the worst.
Yeah.
You can't even have charity games. You can't do anything.
Oh, really?
No,
Wow.
it's you can only play at casinos. You can have a home game if you don't rake it. You can play in a public area in a bar. If the prize pool is not over 200 and you can't charge anything to enter, it has to be $200.
Wow.
That's what the first place cannot be over $200, and it has to be a free tournament. And you know, like, how is it going to be a free tournament? Where's the 200 come
Yeah.
from if it's a free tournament? Well, if the bars want to put up 200, they can. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, if you are a legislator, you know, no hate or anything, but I mean, I think it's ridiculous because I think, you know, obviously their main driver is tax revenue, right? I mean,
Yeah. If they would,
but
just,
slots are perfectly legal.
yeah, slots are not in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Not in public. Only
Oh.
at casinos. Like
Okay,
in-
so they're legal in casinos. So
in-
then why isn't poker, right?
Well, poker's legal in casinos.
Well, limit poker,
Yeah, $100
So-
max bet.
you know.
Yeah.
I'll hold my tongue there because I know people like limit, but.
Oh no, limit is the worst.
Jason bets 275, probably a little too big, but he's not getting any action anyway, so jump from him. Jason, a little unlucky there. He's been pretty active, so
I'm gonna quickly hit connect
And
while we're
this-
in the middle of a hand, 1 minute
yeah,
early,
no problem.
just to make sure I'm
Just in case it skips
proactive.
early again, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So dumb they'll make that back in drinks and food.
Yeah.
The casinos or the bars. What I found is people that play free poker do not buy a lot of drinks and food.
Sure.
You know, they come in there and they're just there for the free poker.
Yeah.
Especially if, like 71 Bar used to give away $100 first place, and we'd get 50 people to play for that and take up all of their tables that, you know, the snowmobilers come in who were going to buy steak dinners and drink all night. They couldn't find a place to sit down, so they drive down to the next bar.
Yep.
And
So
you know,
you're losing money there.
the bar's full of people who are drinking water trying to get that first place $100 prize.
Yeah. And Jason's going to run into
Kyle
it
says,
here.
I like 200. Big bluffs only cost 100. Yeah. Kyle,
Yeah, Mark just quickly moves all in. Jason's just going to fold.
limit is the worst, Rex. The worst.
Yeah, I'm just not good at limit, I guess. Maybe that's why I hate it. Jason's doing a little Hollywooding here, but he's just going to snap fold. Again, good play from Mark. You know, he's thinking, I have this big stack. I'm probably going to be shoving pretty light, so Ace King's got to be in there. So takes it down.
We've got about a half hour left in this level, and then we're going to take a 15-minute break.
Yeah, I think this final table shouldn't last much past the next level, so
Right,
we're
I don't
getting
think
close
so.
to the end here.
You going to stay with me the whole time, or are you going to jump in that other tournament?
Oh yeah, we'll just play it
Stick
by
around?
ear.
Perfect, yeah.
I mean, I think they're
If
still
it
at.
starts takes.
I mean, they're still at 200, 400,
Are they really?
or they're at 300, 500 now.
3-5?
I think. Yeah, it's 3-5.
You're right. They just went to
so,
3-5.
I mean, I'm good.
Yeah, you're fine. We're
Yeah,
just
we're good.
starting level 5 over there.
Which
There's a
this
lot.
is fun. I wasn't expecting this today. You know, I'll take this as a second to win in the tournament. I guess.
Excellent, excellent. Another turn. Now the
Mark's just gonna raise here, take it down. Unless Dustin has a very playable hand in the big blind, but does he want to battle with Mark, who really has chips to burn? I'm gonna say, seeing how he's played earlier, probably he likes to play.
yeah, Dustin's got he's very active.
Yeah.
He's got the highest VPIP of the people left.
And
He's
he
got
folds.
37% VPIP.
I really like the fold, but I wasn't expecting him to.
No, and it was a great raise from Mark. He's got the button. He's got an ace. He's got all the chips.
Yeah. And that's where, I'm tempted to shove, but, the argument against that is just, it's just so easy to play post flop.
Yeah.
You really just have so much advantage being in position, having ace high. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really love the shove because
That's just how I'm wired.
somebody wakes up
I'm an online guy.
with somebody actually wakes up in the blinds with a real
Right.
hand, like even if they have like let's say two tens.
If he shoves, you're folding with ace nine. You feel pretty comfortable about that.
You give
Wow.
yourself an option. Now we're gonna hit father and son, 800K and 800K. Whoa! No way! That was a misclick. There's no way he just folded ace queen, and there's no way he just folded sevens. What's going on here?
I'm quite literally speechless.
Yeah, Whoa! No way! Ace king, ace queen, 7-7. We were supposed to see a massive pot.
I can see sevens folding there after ace queen jams.
Right. It should have went bet, jam. Think about it.
I would say like the 3.5.
Oh, Rex says he wasn't at the table. His hand got mucked. No, they're both at the table.
I mean, I can
Gary
see
and Mark
it.
are both at the table.
You know, he 3.5x's off of 8. That's pretty strong, but he's been doing that pretty regularly. Wow.
You've got 8 big blinds with ace queen.
Wow. We're definitely seeing some different.
Oh, he was not seated. So Rex was paying attention when we weren't. So you're saying Mark was not seated or Gary was not seated?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to find out about that one. But I mean, I'm tending to believe Rex because I think even
the dealer put the cards on the reader and then mucked them.
Even Gary.
Whose
is
cards?
jamming.
The sevens or the ace queen? Because one of those players should have gotten in with the Gary.
Yeah, I think sevens is more forgivable.
Okay, so Gary's hand got mucked.
Who had sevens? Do you remember?
Mark did with all the chips.
Yeah, I actually don't mind a fold there. He can basically just can just impose his will. And so he's thinking,
he's got
why?
So many chips, he can just flat and set mine.
But if we're thinking that Jason doesn't do that with any underpair,
you know what else he's doing? Keeping the short stacks around so he can punish the rest of the table.
That's exactly what I'm thinking as well.
That's advanced.
I think
if that was his thought process, that's advanced.
I do believe. I think Mark's a really good player, from what I've seen. Everybody's been even Gary's getting in the mix.
So Gary.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask about that one. I didn't.
Yeah, he survived.
I guess I didn't see his.
He was lucky. Rex was paying attention, and he said Gary was away from the table. Ace king raises. Ace queen just gets mucked because Gary was away from the table.
I believe Rex.
And then Mark's fold sevens
because it looked like it was a snap fold as well.
Yeah,
so
it was. It was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, it looks like. Because we were ready for an all-in.
Yeah.
So, Dustin here, he can choose between.
Thank you for watching, Rex.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Making this hand make more sense to us.
And Dustin chooses another very weird size. He's really varying. He's really varying those sizes. It's very interesting to watch. But it's definitely keeping his opponents on his toes. I see that with him and Jason a lot. They've been really using those different sizes at different parts of different positions. So
it's interesting to find out. See, I try not to vary my sizes based on my hand strength.
Yep.
I vary it based on obviously what's in the pot, my position, and who I'm up against.
Yep.
You know, if I think Kyle's going to call this, I have to make it bigger now. If I think Tom's going to fold, I can go ahead and make it smaller now.
Yeah. And now we're going to find another spot here. Gary is going to have a7. He's going to call. Mark's going to shove. And Gary's probably going to call here. Yeah. So
he is all in.
Now,
Gary's got an ace.
I don't know. Oh, don't tell me he's going to fold a7. Please don't fold.
You've got an ace and 5 big blinds left.
Oh.
He does have the whole orbit now. He just went through the blinds.
That one hurt me a little bit.
So I would have just piled.
I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. That's just a call. When we're limping there, we're happy to get a shove. We're not disgusted.
You if you're Gary in the small blind, do you shove with the ace?
Against Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
that's what I was saying.
I think that limping is okay.
And
if you think you're getting jammed on a lot.
Yeah, if you want to call. If your plan is to limp call. If your plan is let's get all the chips in the middle.
Now I'm questioning the ace-queen hand now. See now. Jason's got king 10 suited with 8 bigs here. Is this going to be an all-in, or is he going to make another interesting raise size? And if
he's all in.
I mean, if he limps as well, Mark's going to jam, and Jason's going to be left in a really tough spot.
He's in the cutoff. He's just
and like I said, he's just gonna open with a weird size, and I feel like Mark might pick up on this and just jam, and he doesn't. And now Jimmy gets to see a flop if he chooses to
for 150, a cheap flop.
If he wants to. I understand the sizing. I understand people don't want to shove. I'm a big shove guy. Under 10.
And now Jimmy does shove, and now Jason can call
just put
off
in
with king high.
Well, but the problem is, Jason, we're now in I mean, we're now in a terrible spot.
No, you call off. It's you put in 250. You've got 550 left. You
I
just
understand.
call off right now.
But now Jason's thinking he's not shoving queen jack, queen 10, jack 9. What are we beating? I mean, we're either flipping or behind.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what, yeah. But you've already put in a 30-year stack.
And that's why he's kind of like chuckling here. He's like, I'm up. I have to be up against a monster. I have to be. I can see Jason folding this very easily.
I take the.
I think it's a call, but I think the way that Jason's been playing, it would make sense for him to fold here, and he does. Wow.
Oh, Jason.
Shimmy just takes it down. Pure aggression. He sees that Jason has been opening and folding, and he just decides queen 10. Let's not see a flop. I'm out of position. I'm just piling it.
This is why you don't open standard sizes with a super small stack.
Wow.
Right. When I've got 7 bigs, I just pile it in.
All I'll say is this final table has been really fun to watch.
Jason and Gary both with 5 big blinds.
Yeah, and obviously,
I
think another component is a lot of these guys play primarily cash, right? So
I do not know the answer to that.
I'm sure that's probably the case.
We're on a 10-minute warning, so after this hand, remind me to.
And when you play primarily cash, when you get to these small stacks, you really don't really know what to do. As Jason
and
finds
Jason
aces.
gets rewarded with ace.
That's right. And Louis finds threes here.
Louis is gonna.
I'm assuming
Louis
is gonna mix. I can see. I mean,
see a big raise
I
here.
would shove here, but Louis is just gonna call.
He just calls.
And when Jason shoves,
maybe he just does another little raise and hopes somebody shoves on him.
He's too
again.
short, unfortunately.
He's strong enough to limp.
I think it actually, I don't think. I think a raise is actually the worst option here. I think it's either going to be a limp or a shove. And he's kind of mulling it over. He's thinking Louis calls. I have less than 6 bigs. Can he really fold? He's shoving. Right. Now Mark's in an interesting spot. What do we do? He showed a real discipline
550,
folding.
he's folding, for sure.
This is a tough spot. Jason shoving pretty wide here. He folds.
Why are you yelling at us?
Why are you yelling at us? Who?
No, he's talking in all caps.
I think he's just excited to.
Duffner should be trying to steal the limps.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think he's just kind of relaxing here. He's just seeing people bust out. I mean, he's still in a great spot.
Now Louis thinking, I've got a pair. It's half my stack to call.
I think when you limp here, it's probably a mandatory call. But
450. It's 4.5 blinds. There's 900 in the pot.
Yeah, you need 33%. You have it. Yeah. Not against aces, but you have it against what he's shoving.
I mean, he's in exactly the wrong spot, but you don't know that mathematically.
Yeah, I think Louis is probably going to find the call here. He's good enough to know that.
While he's counting, I'm going to quickly reset this. Yep, he does call. Let's hope this comes back in a couple seconds, and there it did.
Yeah, let's see what the run out is here. Yeah, wow, Jason, again, is all in. This is his 3rd time. He's won twice. He was behind both times. So let's see if he can find a hold. And
wow, 3 on the flop. He's got 2 outs. Wow. No, he's got 1 out because Mark folded an ace.
Yeah, he does have 1 out.
He needs 4, 5, or nope. The spade won't do it. So he gets a check mark because Mark folded the ace of clubs and the ace of spades won't help him. Wow. And we are down to 5 players.
Yeah, Jason walks away with, I think it was like 32 something.
It was 2-6-3-2.
Oh wow, 2-6-3-2. So this next jump is massive.
No, I'm wrong. Who got 6th place? He got 6th place, right? Yeah, 2-6-3-2.
Okay. Yeah, 2,600. Good result from him. Some of his plays were definitely different than the regular, but I think he played pretty solid, and glad he got a good result. He got outlasted by his dad, which I'm sure he'll get some slack for.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the $2,600 will kind of calm that pain a little bit. So good result for him. And now we're down to 5, and now Mark has an even better spot here. Louis was a pretty short stack, and so him doubling up is really inconsequential to Mark's overall plan here. And Mark has king jack off. He's going to probably open this. Yep. And him and Jimmy are going to battle it out here. Unless Jimmy decides to fold, which he does. Schaefer's got 1.7 million, enough to battle if he truly wants to, depending on his hand, which we don't know. It's a mystery. And he decides to fold. This is kind of what was being talked about as these kind of players drop. We're going to look at Mark to become more and more aggressive. So.
Yeah. Yeah, now we're down to 5-handed
Yep.
and 4-handed.
Yep.
Mark's going to apply the pressure, I think. I think we're going to lose another player in the next couple of minutes. Probably 3 hands. What do you think?
What was that?
We're going to lose a player in 3 hands.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'm actually going to give you the over on that one. I'm usually all 4 players busting, but this player's been playing, or this stable's been playing
snug.
pretty snug. So, yeah. Ace 4 suited
Gary's
for
down
Gary.
to 3 bigs.
I might be wrong.
He's down to 3 bigs in the big blind.
Let's see.
He's got his ante and big blind out there. He's only got 300 behind.
What's the small blind? What is? I
Louis
guess
hasn't shown his cards yet. See how that's a little bit off
Yep.
of the reader,
Yep.
so it hasn't fully read it.
and we're probably going to
So
see
you
a
don't know what Louis has.
jam for Louis.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're just gonna. I guess we're gonna find out what he had.
All right.
So, good luck
So
to Gary
my
here.
3 hands is going to turn into 1 hand.
Yeah, potentially.
If and Louis gets back-to-back Singer eliminations.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Takes out the
Back-to-back
father and
hands
the
as well.
son.
Wow. Well, let's see it. Gary has done his job. He's outlasted his son.
Yep.
Now will.
By 1 hand.
That's right. Now will he outlast this hand is the question. This will be interesting. I don't really know why Louis is tanking so long. I mean, he has to call really any 2 here.
Oh, he hasn't called yet?
No, he's still thinking.
I think he called, but there's a pot discrepancy where he's asking how much is it, how much do I owe?
Potentially, yeah.
I think that's
You
what
could
he was
be
doing
right.
because he was pointing at the
Yeah, I
chips,
don't
asking
think
what
he
it
is-
was.
I don't think he's tanking.
Yeah, maybe
here.
there's like, what is that? Is that the ante? Is that my bet?
Sure.
How much is it? What's going on here?
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening
Yeah.
right now.
Or Lou.
He's like, okay, so how much is it now?
I think he
yeah,
said
so he
all
didn't
in,
call. He just
so-
wanted to make sure the
Yeah.
pot was right. Now he calls. He was always calling. He just wanted to know
he
how
was
much
always
they had to call.
So we're gonna see what Ace 4 suit is up against. The other 4 players, or the other 3. Wow, Ace High flop. That's probably gonna be good against most of what. Wow, he had Ace 3. They're gonna chop it up most likely. Wow, that's quite unlucky for Gary there. That's
Yep.
tough. You wake up with an Ace 4 big blinds in the big blind, and you're kind of just thinking,
Yeah.
happy birthday to me. But
Yeah, and he actually loses in that chop because he has to give half of his ante
yep.
to Louis.
Yep, but he skips the big blinds, so he's got a little more time to potentially see another player busting, which probably is going to happen. Everybody's very aware of the payouts now
Yep.
because they're getting very steep. It doesn't matter who you are. This money up top is
Yeah, the next one
quite
out gets 4605.
yeah. So these pay jumps are ramping up. The next pay jump is 1200. Next pay jump is 1500. Sorry, after 4600, it's 61. So yeah, wow. Or was that for 4th?
4th place is 4605.
There's still. Is there 4 remaining or 5? There's 5 remaining.
Just a second. Let me pink hit this button. Yeah, there's 4 left because there's 5 left.
5 left.
Yeah.
So 5th will take home 34.22. So that's another $800 pay jump. So yeah, these tournaments are really top heavy too, as far as the payout structure.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah.
All the money's
Is
up
it?
in the top 3.
Yeah. As far as like the discrepancy between 1st and 2nd. Yeah.
It's most tournaments are like
Sure.
this. How the tournaments are structured.
Sure.
These are actually better than a lot. It being flatter,
Right.
There are some that are really bad. If you, I've seen some where, like, if they guarantee like $1 million first place, and the prize pool's like 1.4.
Yeah, second place is like 1.
Yeah, you get nothing because you got to pay everybody else out, and then there's $1 million at first.
Wow.
And they do that just to advertise that $1 million.
Wow, we look away for 1
prize.
second, and it looks like you're going to be right. Dustin has
Queens.
queens.
9-9.
Gary has a mandatory shove, and that's just unlucky for Gary. Dustin's going to have a snap call once.
So Louis doesn't get back-to-back Singer eliminations.
I think this is a fold for Jimmy. Dustin just raised under the gun. Even if you're up against like King Jack or something, you're just awkward.
250 to call. You got 1.5 million.
You're out of position as well.
It's not enough. Gary's raise is not enough to reopen it for Dustin, so he could only call. He can't re-raise.
I see.
Which makes it easier for Jimmy to call, knowing he's not going to be forced.
Yeah, he's also just got a really bad ace here, and he's just going to be out of position, and Dustin's just shoving a lot of flops. So.
I think I'm wrong. I think that's exactly the correct amount where he can re-raise.
I think he just snap jammed, and Jimmy, I think this is one of the first missteps I've seen from him. I think this was a mistake.
So Jimmy called, Dustin jammed?
Even though he has queens here, I think this is just, I think this is just him being in the big blind, wanting to see a 3-way all-in, wanting to knock out Gary,
and let's
wanting
check
to
it
get
down now.
Let's get a pay jump. But he just runs into queens, which is unfortunate for him.
Oh, and he
called.
He calls out the extra 900.
Did he actually call?
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, call all in.
Wow, he calls with ace-6 suited. I understand it against Dustin, but Dustin just snap jammed there. He didn't even consider.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
King
right.
8,
Jimmy
8
needs
flop.
an ace for a double elimination. Otherwise, Dustin is going to vault
Gary's
to
pretty
the top
dead
of the
too.
leaderboard
Yeah.
with a almost $3 million
Jack on the
$3 million chip pot.
And this is big for the rest of the table.
Ace.
They want to see an ace here. And it's a jack. Wow.
Jacks and queens.
And Dustin
takes a huge pot.
And now we're going to, most likely we're going to see a really interesting heads-up match between Dustin and Mark here. And now Jimmy's left in a horrible spot. Left with 5 big blinds after calling it off with
I think that was a mistake. You just have to fold.
Yeah.
I like the call. Now let's go 3-way and knock this guy out.
Yeah.
But when you get jammed on, you have to go, well, okay, I guess you have it.
I personally disagree with the call, but I do see the logic behind it. I think it's probably not that bad. He just ran into queens. I think the call was. It
wasn't a lot. It was like what, 250 for him to call?
Well,
because it's 350 total. He was in for 100.
Yeah.
So it was like 2.5 big blinds to call 3-way action with an ace.
Yeah. But you also have Louis too. Now we're 4-way. Fourth gets like.
I like the call better if it didn't raise. It didn't open the raise up.
He opened under the gun as well, which we have to consider. But it is 5-way, so I don't know.
All right, that's our 10-minute warning. So I'm going to hit reconnect.
I definitely don't fault him for trying to make a play with ace-6 suited on the button, though. It's definitely, definitely an interesting spot for sure. Yeah, wow. So I would assume Dustin is probably the happiest person at the table right now. Feeling great, beard's looking great.
Oh, he's loving life right now.
Yeah, life is
happy. He just laddered up a couple of pay jumps.
And if he was happy before to get on the final table, he's even more happy now. So, yeah, great.
And Jimmy now has queen,
and he's not gonna get.
He's not gonna get it paid
unless he limps. Which I think
he's got 5 bigs. You're all in this situation.
Yeah, I think this is probably a shove, but I understand a call, and he just gets the fold, which he hates to see. He really wants that double up after losing that 3-way one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he's definitely. Jimmy's really not afraid to.
Chips.
Yeah, Jimmy's not afraid to, take a read and run with it. I guess he probably just thought he saw something.
Well, yeah.
And As a
I'd
guy
like
who
to get into his head and think what was he thinking?
As a guy who likes tells myself, I mean, I have been the victim of that as well. I think that's probably the worst spot to do it in, but you know. Dustin's gonna try to see a flop. I would have liked to see
Silas, it is 2 o'clock. Registration ends at 5. Can you make it here in 3 hours?
Yeah, I think it's probably 5. Yeah.
And actually, you have a little more time because they started about 20 minutes late.
Oh, we have the dinner break too.
Yeah, we've got an hour dinner
Okay,
break.
yeah. So that's after that.
Yes, Silas is
All right.
on his way. Silas
Make it
won the
down.
last tournament I streamed in Minot in April.
Yeah, I
The-
wonder how
the
many
gut
entrants we
shot.
have right now. It looks like 80 something right now, and we're pretty early. So.
All right, yeah. What are we in, level 6?
Yeah, I think we're still we're 7 minutes away from 300, 600, which is level 6. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so you've got 4 30-minute levels, a 15-minute break,
And a 60-minute
and a
break.
60-minute dinner break. So you've got
2 hours, 3 hours,
2
3 hours,
2
15.
hours and 52 minutes. Yeah, you've got almost 3 hours actually.
Yeah.
Jimmy's all in with ace jack under the gun.
Yep, pretty standard shove here. Dustin, he's going to want to be folding with Mark behind.
Yeah, 650 to call with a suited king.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot. You really want to call, and it looks like he's cutting out. Oh, he has Louis behind too. I think this is a fold, but he decides to call, and they're flipping.
Ace jack.
It says
king
Dustin
nine.
has 37%, which means some of his outs are probably folded, I'm assuming.
That's tough. I take Dustin needs a king or a 9, or he's going to put Jimmy right
Diamond
back
for
in this
fun.
with 1.5 million.
Diamond
There's a
for
jack.
fun, and he taps the table.
Running diamonds.
Yep.
Running diamonds for the win. He needs an ace, a king, a 10
Wow.
of diamonds gives him
And
the
he's-
flush.
He spikes the diamond.
And
on the
Jimmy.
river. That's a nasty way to go for Jimmy. I think Jimmy made one crucial misstep, but I really think Jimmy played really well.
I think Jimmy would agree with you on
I
that
think
one.
I think Jimmy was probably maybe my favorite player to watch this final
He's
table.
great.
Yeah,
I
he really
met
is.
him in March when I streamed here. And
Yeah, he
was
seems like a great guy. So
super fun to watch.
I actually didn't get the pleasure of playing with him more than 10 hands, but yeah, I think he really played well here. Obviously, one mistake, and that's all it takes, man. One mistake, and that's your tournament life. But 4th place for him, still a really good cash. Out of a field of like
$4,605 for Jimmy.
4,600 out of a field of about 180 players, I think it was.
177
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, 177. So great result for him. And hope to see him in the main here.
For sure, he's
whenever I end
gonna
up
take a little
registering.
break and jump right back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rex says he was playing great until he committed that ICM suicide, calling off with that ace.
Yeah. No, I wonder what he would have to say about that hand. It's a very, very interesting hand.
I'd like to get him in the booth and pick his brain a little bit. Mark flops an open-ender. Dustin flops middle pair.
Yep. Let's go back call.
They both got stacks.
Mark's got a really interesting spot. I'd like to kind of want to see a spade on the turn to just see him go nuts here. Wow.
Deuce.
Wow.
That gives Mark
And-
bottom pair, which is no good. They've got 20% chance of chopping this with an ace or a 6.
Yeah, Dustin probably has more 6s, but Mark is really
And
the
the
only
king.
one.
Oh, he hits
Wow.
the king.
Wow, and he rivers the best hand.
Check. Check.
Check,
And
check.
Mark picks
Dustin
it up.
just checks it back. I understand a check there from him.
Oh, for sure.
I think when you get check raised, you just hate life.
Yep. We got 8 minutes left in this level.
Yep.
And then we're going on a 15-minute dinner break.
Yeah, and
Three-handed.
we're looking at a real competition here. No more short stacking.
Right.
Short stacks, 20 bigs.
They're all in the money. Next out gets $6,000.
Yeah.
You can double that if you're first.
Exactly.
With, almost 14,000.
Yeah, and now the pay jumps are just so massive. And I kind of want to say that Mark kind of missed his chance a little bit. Dustin's kind of caught up to him, and he can't really, he can't be, fearless of consequences playing against Dustin. If he loses an all-in with Dustin, I think he's probably bottom stack, or he's pretty close, so.
Rex is putting odds out. He says Mark's negative 300, Dusty's positive 200.
Mark negative 300. Dustin plus 200 seems like a decent bet to me. Dustin has been playing really solid today. And he's really like playing with those sizes, which I think he's going to do increasingly when you're playing more
Make
hands.
it so hard to read against him because you're like, man,
Yep.
what is he doing now? Last time he did this, last
Yep.
time he did that. Dustin with ace 10 on the button. Louis plus 1,000.
Wow.
No.
No respect for Louis.
Well, I mean, with this chip stack and these players, that's a good line.
No,
actually.
that is tough. It is tough for Louis to win this for sure, but I think Louis is more than capable. Wow. Mark just folds to a min-bet there with 10-8 off. Yeah, that's an interesting hand. I guess I'm completing all day, but yeah, let's move on to the next hand, I guess he says.
I like
wanna
the
attack.
Dustin for 200. That's
Yeah. Dustin's been playing really well today.
I would take that.
The beard is looking great, and he's just got the swagger.
I mean, Mark's
The
been
shades
laying in
are
the weeds
on.
for the whole table.
Yeah.
The last 70 hands.
Yeah, I think. Oh, and Mark
And then he
picks
has
up.
Jack.
See,
I wonder if Rex has some inside information because this is 10 minutes ago. Does he already know that Mark gave Dustin a bunch
Maybe.
of chips?
this is a very good
Or Dustin
possibility.
gave Mark a bunch of chips, rather?
And this is too big from Mark,
No.
but he's gonna get a call.
He makes it 4x. Dustin's in the big blind with a king 10, three-handed. I'm calling.
Yeah, this is a call from Dustin. I don't like the size, but it's gonna work out here. And we're gonna see a flop.
You think Mark should have bet more or
No,
less?
I think 300K is standard. I think he hasn't been aggressive enough to be able to do this.
But it worked.
He's just going to get folds from like queen 10 off, jack 9 off, stuff like that. I don't really like,
He got a lot of
wanna see a
chips
flop.
in the pot, though,
Yeah.
when he's a huge favorite.
it's a massive pot here. Again, though, maybe he has a read on Dustin. Dustin likes to play pots, so he's thinking,
Right.
if he wants to see a flop, I'm going to make it
Oh,
expensive.
the ace might slow things down. He's going to check if Dustin can steal this right now
Yeah,
for like 300.
I would personally c-bet this flop with everything. But he's just
But
going to
he's
delay
been doing
c-bet.
he's been doing
delay
delayed
c-bet.
c-bets all day.
Yeah, we just play a little different. I think this is
Yeah.
going to work out for Mark.
And I'm like you.
he played
I
this hand.
c-bet
Yep, he played this hand really
where he
well.
does a check c-bet, and it works.
Yep, he probably check calls
All
flop.
3 times we said he should
Yep.
c-bet, he bet the turn
Yep.
and picked it up then. So he was one street off.
Yep.
I would rather deny equity
Yep.
to my opponent, but it's worked every
And-
time for him.
Maybe he's just thinking check call flop, check fold turn, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I think he's
It's-
good
it's-
enough to where he's thinking
Yeah.
streets ahead.
It
So,
definitely works out for him.
Man, I'm really glad you brought me back here. This has been really fun to
Oh, I'm
like
really
break
glad you
down
got
hands
back here.
with you and stuff.
Mark has Jack. Now he's got ace.
Because you know your stuff too. Like, you got to give yourself credit. You definitely know what's going on. I think Dustin's going to see a flop here as well. Really pretty hand. Or is he going to 3-bet? I don't see him folding.
This might be the last hand.
Wow.
We're really close.
I know nothing. And he's going to get a call from...
No, he didn't.
Wow.
He just picks it up.
That is so tough for him
I'm
to have
going
aces.
to connect.
Wow.
And do a little reset before it starts buffering on me in the last couple of hands.
Yeah, I've been befuddled like more than my fair share of times.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Can't hear. Is it just me? It's just you, Brooke.
Yeah, I think we're good as far as I know.
Yeah. Put your headphones back in, Brooke. And she can't hear me, so yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
It's just you, Brooke. Somebody jump in the chat and
yeah,
tell me
Dustin's
you can
gonna
hear.
fold. Let's see what Louis has. He likes to keep us guessing up here. I think that's what it is he wants to
Louis?
keep things interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just on safari and forgets to put his cards over his
No, I agree,
reader.
but I'd like to think he's really
We can hear. Dallas can hear.
great bet from Mark here. He's just gonna get the fold.
Yeah.
Really like that bet from Mark. Now he's starting to impose as well, a little bit. Obviously, he just had jacks and aces, but a hand like that where I think that's a mandatory.
Yeah.
Because if he jams, I think you have a pretty easy fold.
Did he show the jacks and aces? Because I do. When I have big hands like that,
He
I
didn't
show them.
I know he didn't show the aces.
Yeah.
And I don't think he showed the jacks because it was a pretty.
Yeah. I like to show just so people think, oh my God, he has it every time.
So you have more room to bluff, yeah.
Brooke and Dallas both went to Cancun with me in March.
Oh wow.
We had.
How was that?
It was fabulous.
Warmer than.
It was beautiful.
in
It was so
Bemidji?
good. We, you gotta add me on Facebook, so that you could see my life and see all my exploits.
Did I? I thought I added you. No, maybe I added the feature table.
I don't know. Oh, you probably like the feature table.
Yeah.
We were chatting.
We were talking earlier. Yeah.
But I couldn't add you because you probably have privacy settings and stuff where if we don't have mutual friends, I can't add you or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll figure that out.
Well, it's not Snapchat or TikTok.
Yeah,
so,
right. It's hard for me.
It's old school stuff.
I
mean, you kids don't know what that's about.
I'm just lost when it comes to that. Looking like the last hand of this level, probably.
2 minutes left before the break, so.
Unless that was the last hand, very well.
No, they're going to finish this hand. They've got cards in front of them.
No, Mark is just like, I have so many chips. I can't.
How many do you have? I don't know.
I don't have the ability to count.
I got a billion chips.
He has King 4 here. Let's see if he opens. I think fold or open is probably fine here. If he opens, he's going to get it through, so. Yep.
All right, we're going to get one more hand in before
Dustin
break.
just snap folds with King Deuce off. I wouldn't have minded a limp there, but. Well, we're getting close.
All right. Right now the button's on Mark.
I think Dustin's going to be the button. I think Dustin's going to be the button here.
Dustin will be the button. Right now the button's
hand.
on Mark.
Yep, so it'll be Louis as the button. Am I saying that right? Louis? Or is it Louis?
Louis.
Okay, gotcha.
Louis. It is Lewis, but they call him Louis.
Oh, okay.
I asked that last night.
Let's see if Mark defends. He will. We're gonna see one final flop before we go to break.
Yep. All right.
So
Mark's got the 7-10 in the big
Louis
blind.
again keeping us. It's gonna go check here. Yeah, Mark's just gonna check it back. I think Mark's just gonna give up here.
Yeah, he's done with the hand.
Yeah.
Unless if it goes check down and 10 high happens to be the best hand, that's the only way he's
I don't think we have to risk any chips here because we have such a massive chip advantage, but he disagrees. He's going to go for a little C-bet here just to fold out some queen highs, some jack highs.
Yeah, Louis raised.
I like the sizing. Yeah, he raised pre.
And then he checked twice.
Louis shaking his head. Oh, folds the queens. Wow. What a hand.
He's got two queens.
To end the level.
And Mark just takes it down with an ace and a king.
It can't normally be this wild.
This is a fun table.
Holy
this is a fun table.
moly.
Hey guys, we're gonna take a break. We'll see you back in 15.